Hey guys, in this video I'm showing you how I took Girona FC to the Champions League win in 10 years, only playing as their director of football. It's going to be a very long episode, and if you want to see the episodes just episode by episode, go check out my channel. They're there. Otherwise, watch this whole video and you'll find out how we started bringing Girona as only a director of football to the top of European football. Without any further ado, go ahead and watch the rest of the video to find out how we did it. Hello guys and welcome to the first ever episode of my Director of Football career mode in Football Manager 24. We are going to be managing none other than Girona, the club that's doing so good in the La Liga now, and we're going to try to take them with a Director of Football role and with great purchases in that director football role, together with the data sheet that I've built, and I'm gonna make sure that they will become the best team in Spain. So before we start, I have a video where I explain how I use Excel and data to sign the best players. It's in the link below, so go ahead and check that out. And there's also a link below where I explain how you can set up your own save so that you can also play as a director of football. I will show you a little bit in this episode how you do it. But first, before I do that, let's go take a look at Girona here. So, pretty small club, if you were to say so. If we go to club information, they have got some affiliates in Bolivia, in Spain, and Manchester City are actually also one of their affiliates. There are senior affiliates. If you go to facilities, you see that we're playing in the Montilivi stadium, which can hold 11,000 players, seaters. So not that much. Good training facilities, good youth facilities, good academic and excellent youth recruitment. These training facilities we're going to be upgrading, but not for now. Finance wise, we have 7 million in the budget, 5 million in the transfer budget. With wages, we're spending half a million, which is quite okay, and we do not have any loans or any debt, which is very good. Then let's go ahead and take a look at the team. This is the tactic that I've set up, but of course we're not going to be playing with this tactic. We're going to be playing with a tactic that our assistant manager, quote unquote, our real manager, will want to play, and we're going to sign players that he actually wants us to play. So right here you see a lot of players that we have loaned in. Jan Couto we have loaned in from Manchester City, who looks to be very, very good. And if we go in that quick pick position, you already see a lot of players that are going to be playing in different positions. So you have Eric Garcia, who we've loaned in from Barcelona, Pablo Torre, who we've loaned in from Barcelona as well, and also Savio, who we've loaned from Troy, but of course he's part of the Manchester City group, and I think Troy is so as well. So of course Savio has been he is owned by Troy, but of course in the end it's all connected to the Manchester City group. We have Gazaniga in goal, who has a history in the Premier League, of course, at Tottenham and at Southampton, where many people may know him. Then we've got Daley Blind here as a backup. He is an Ajax legend, as you can see, played there for many, many seasons after leaving on a free to Barcelona and then Girona. Alex Garcia, 26-year-old, who's looking pretty good in that position. Angel Herrera, of course, had great potential. In the previous games, I don't know if he still has it, but just an overall okay player. As you can see, a lot of loans. We really want to play as less loans as we possibly can. And then we also have John Solis, who is actually a player from us. So we haven't loaned him in. Great potential for that guy as well. And otherwise we also have Porto, who is I think also a well-known name in the Spanish football. Played for us already before and should also get a starting spot in this team. So what I will be doing with you right now is I will go to staff and I will search for that assistant manager that we want. Of course, here it says we're the manager, but how the series works is that we don't play any game. We only do the staff management and the player management. We don't play any games. We just let our assistant manager play all the games. So let's go ahead and see what kind of assistant manager we can get in at this point. Of course, this guy is currently a manager. If you click on manager, these are the most important things. So tactical knowledge, motivation, people management, and judging player ability. I think if you're assistant manager, yeah, so we need to add motivation and tactical knowledge. So that's what you do right here. You pick, you select tactical knowledge and motivation. Then you have all of those. You go ahead and pick them like that, and then you have a lot of players here. So for example, we have Miroslav Benarek, who can be our manager. I could ask him if he wants to be our assistant manager. So let's go ahead. So he is an option if we want to. He plays a 4-2-3-1 wide. So we need our 4-4-2. So we need players for him that he can use in the 4-4-2. We also have a Lars Knudsen who we could bring in. He also plays a 4-4-2. I think Pedro Salaberry also wants to join. He plays a 4-3-3. Igno Palau plays a 4-3-3. And I think these other ones, yeah, they could also want to join. Monaco plays a 4-2-3-1. And this guy plays a 4-4-2. Philip Germany plays a, let's see here, a 5-2-3. That could also be interesting. Philip Germany, his name might also sounds nice. Let's see if he wants to come in as our assistant manager. He does not. He only wants to be our low manager, so that's not going to be working out. Noor Burnett also not really working out. That's when I will just put this up and then lower the judging player potential, and then the one that comes out is Lars Knudsen. So I am going to try to offer him a contract, get him in, and I will be back with you if he signed, and if he didn't sign, who else signed for us. So I will be back in a little bit. So, guys, here we are. The main coach has arrived. Our manager, the guy who we're going to be playing with. And it is, and it is, and it is Lars Knudsen. So Lars Knudsen has come in as our assistant manager. However, we are going to treat him as if he is our actual manager. So we are going to be buying players for his preferred tactic, the 4-4-2. What I did for myself is I've loaded a tactic in, which I've gotten from the FM Manager Scout, and I've just put some players in so I know which positions I have to scout players for. So as you can see here, I'm gonna have to scout for attacking forwards, and that was the tactic that he was using in my friendlies. As you can see here, he was still using those tactics because I told him so. But then the actual game against Las Palmas came, and he started using his own tactic, and this is what he's playing as. So what I will be doing is I will be grabbing players in who I think are the best for these roles. For the strikers, it's usually the advanced forward roles. For the wingers, I'm just gonna use winger, and for the midfield roles, I'm gonna either use the ball winning midfielder or the segundo volante. And the two defenders will be the ball playing defenders. The right back and the left back will both be wing backs on attack. So that's where I'm going to be searching players for. As you can see, the first game we played, it ended in a 1-1, which was very unfortunate. And let me just show you how I set up this save file so we can play as a director of football. All of these that you see in white now is all part of my job description. So basically buying and selling players and hiring and firing my coaching staff, or just my staff in general. And then my staff is um, responsible for all of these, and I have divided these. If it's Girona B, then it's my B manager. If it's under 19s, then it's my 19s manager, as you can see here and as you can see here. And the other things are all part of Lars Knudsen's job. So he's responsible for everything now. The only thing that I will be doing is finding players that fit his tactic. I was gonna think whenever a game comes up, I just press go on holiday, and I go on holiday and he uses his own tactic. But what I was thinking is I'm just going to be seeing if I don't want him to use this tactic, because this tactic is the very good one from the FM Manager Scout, but I just want him to come up with his own tactics and his own things, and I'm just going to be buying the players that I think are good for him as well, and he can just resolve a tactic for that. What I wanted to show you is we aren't even at the end of the transfer window, but I already made two big sales, three actually. I have if we go right here, I have sold three players. Valerie for 2.9. He wasn't really going to be a starter for us, so I just sold him off. Stuani was on very high wages, wasn't even a starter for us, so sold him off as well. And David Lopez wasn't a starter for us, so sold him off. Why did I sell off these two players? Because they had big wages, and we now have more money left in our transfer budget and in our wage budget to buy in some replacements if we want to. This is the starting squad, how it's looking. So you would say we don't really need anything. We don't really need reinforcements, but I just want to get another. I think this position is for a winger, so I want to get another. No, it's a ball-winning midfielder. I want to get another ball-winning midfielder in, and an advanced forward, so a striker, and then the whole team should be complete. Then what I will also do is I will fill in all these roles that we have. I did of course fire an assistant manager that I had. Why? Because we don't want any assistant managers. There only needs to be one. The rest of them will all be coaches. And the director of football I have fired because we are the director of football. So how can we be the director of football when somebody else already is? So I'm going to be filling this up. I will be coming back to you at the end of this transfer window, and how the episodes will look is I will go from season to season. So you will see me do the whole transfer window, then you will see me do the whole January transfer window, and then you will see me do the end of the season. And that way, in one episode, you will see the beginning of the season, the January transfer window, the youth intake, and the end of the season. And then you will have everything that you wanted to see from that season. So every episode is a season. Do keep that in mind. So we're gonna go pretty quick through this, but I think that's the fun way because you want to see how this team goes to the top, and I think that's the proper way to do it. Anyway, I will be back to with you when I've done some other signings and maybe some other sales, and you will see what we made of the squad so far. So see you in a couple of seconds. Hello guys, here we are again, back once again. I have done some business. I have gotten some coaches and some scouts in, also some more medical stuff. All my physios should now be 20, which is the first thing I usually do. Getting 20 physios is not very hard. As for the coaching, I have hired new fitness staff and also new goalkeeping staff because we really needed some upgrades in there. So I have now have 15 plus goalkeepers, which goalkeeper trainers, which is good. I've hired some head performance and performance guys, and I've hired some scouts, recruitment analysts, and of course the head physios that I told you about. Everybody is 20 plus there, so that's very nice. And let's go into the signings that I've made. Right here, you can still see Baba is coming in 1-7. I already bought him for next year because he's looking very good. I couldn't really see all of his stats, but already 13 marking, 15 tackling with okay physicals was enough for me to be able to buy him. Only 1.1 million I think we're paying for him, not too much. Yeah, it's going to be 2.1, but I think he's going to be a good backup for us. And then let me show you what kind of signings we brought in. Of course, you already saw last episode who we sold, and I will show you the ones that we actually did. So we got rid of David Lopez, 33 years old, was on 60k a week, so glad to get rid of him. Stuani was on 29k a week, wasn't going to be a starter for us, so just sold him on as well. Valerie also sold him to Bologna just because we didn't really have a place for him, so he's gone for 2.9 million. And then I've also bought in some players, and the players that I've bought in are the only ones are I think right here. So these five I've bought in. So first and foremost, Fabio Tavares. Why did I bring him in? Just a good backup player to have. Great physicals, okay technicals, 13 dribbling and 14 finishing is good enough for what we're trying to achieve here. 13 work rate as well. So very cheap transfer fee, just thinking it might just work out. Then we also bought in Jesse Lingard, who has great technicals for this team, great mentals as well, and okay physicals. So we should be be able to use him a lot. Let's see if he already played. Yeah, he's played one game for us, but I think that's as a substitute. So hopefully our trainer will use him. I'm not sure what he will do with it. Anyways, we've also bought in Wesley Said. As you can see, great physicals, great mentals for that striker position, and also great technicals, so he could be a real deal. I think he did play already one game, yeah, but it's Again, up to our manager to use him if he wants to, the yes, the no. Then we've also brought in Leonard Maloney, a 23-year-old American who's playing for Heidelheim, brought him in for a couple of Ks. He's a driven personality with great physicals, great mentals, and okay technicals, but he has the technical ability that you need for that role. 13 heading, 13 marking, 14 tackling, which is just great for a defensive midfielder. So bought him in for 3 mil, and then also from Mainz we bought in Danny da Costa. Also bought him in on my previous series. Just great physicals, great mentals, and great technicals for that right wing, right back position. Only bought him in for 1.6 mil on a 2-year deal, I think 3-year deal. So I'm just curious to see if our manager will actually use him. As for the stats or how we've done is we've drawn one, lost one, and won two. So we are currently sitting in the 5th position, and our manager is doing pretty okay. I'm happy with a 5th position finish. If you look at the Spanish division, I think we're predicted to finish 14th. So anything above 14th is just good for us. So 4 games in, our manager has done pretty well, I would say. What we'll be doing is every episode will be a whole series or will be a whole season from now on. So what I will do is the next episode you will see the January transfer window, the end of that season, and then the episode after that will be the beginning of the season, January, and the end of the season. It's just that this first episode was a little bit longer because I wanted to explain how we're doing, what we're doing in this episode, so that's why. Anyway, if you have any suggestions or which players I should buy or what I should do, leave me down in the comments below. I would love to hear your impact. Also, if you like this, please leave a like. It helps me out a ton. And subscribe if you want to see more. I upload this series twice a week, so you'll get probably uploads on Mondays and on Fridays. So keep tuned for that. Anyway, I want to thank you once again for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and I hope to see you in the next one. Hi guys, and here we are in the January transfer window of our first ever season. I didn't look through my emails yet. I didn't look through the transfer chat. I just read all of the emails so they were gone. But let's see how we did. So you can see we're in 6th, which is great. 6th is great. Let's see how we did in all of those games that we were away. We lost against Barcelona and Vigo, which was interesting. Then we tied Pamplona, won against Alaves, lost against Atletico, which is expected, lost against Sevilla, just barely though, 2-3. Then tied Real Sebastian, and look at this run here. A win against Mallorca, a win against Madrid, a win against Real Hispania, which I think is Real Betis, a win against Atletico Bilbao, a loss against Falcao, just barely though, 2-1. A win against Getafe, or a tie against Getafe, and then 2 wins against Almeria and Villarreal, which means that we're currently in the 6th position. It's very, very close though. I think we're still in the 6th position because Villarreal hasn't played yet, but 6th is European football, so not doing too bad. Barcelona going on a miracle run there. We've been as low as 15th in this season, and now we've all the way climbed up to 6th, so I think we should be very happy with that. Our top scorer is Wesley Said, the guy that we brought in for 1.1 million. So very happy to see that he is doing well. Let's see how my manager has been playing the games or who he has been selecting for the games. As you can see, most apps, Gazaniga, of course, the goalkeeper, Alex Garcia, Daily Blunt, and as I remember correctly, this is why I set up this main. This is the guys that I wanted to play. So let's see how many of those guys he played. So let's not include the loans. I think I can also just hide players who are on loan or trial. And here you can see, okay, he is playing a lot of the guys that I also selected for him, but he's also playing Arnau Martinez a lot. You can see here the 20-year-old wingback he's playing. He's giving a lot of playing time. I think I need to see not at the club. Yeah. So Jan Couto, he's giving a lot of playing time, but also giving a lot of playing time to Arnau Martinez. 15 games, not too bad. Who's our absolute star here? Jan Couto, the loanee from Manchester City, the Brazilian right back. Yeah, he's doing really well. And let's see of the guys that we brought in this season, how they're doing. Jesse Lingard hasn't really played a lot, only 7 appearances as a sub. Then Maloney, only two starts, 6 appearances as a sub, and Da Costa, 2 appearances, 7 as a sub. So not too good, but I mean they were, but Daniel Da Costa actually played terrible in those 9 games that he played for. 6.4. Okay, that's not very good. Let's see where our coach is playing him in then. You can see that right here in form. You can see he's being played as an inverted fullback mostly, but you should play him as a wingback. Against as a wingback, he's usually the best. He's being played mostly at FC in friendlies because I think Arsenal was a friendly. So that is the January until the January transfer window for you. We're in sixth position. I am going to see what we can do with the transfer budget. I still have 1.5 million to spend. If there's something that could be spent, I see that we have some transfers here. I'm not going to show you quite yet what those transfers are. I don't even know myself. But sixth position is very good for us if we just take into account that we aren't like we're supposed to be 14th, so that's not bad at all. Let's see who has the most worth in our selection. I'm very curious about that. I think you do it like this. So the highest worth, of course, are 4 loanies, but Viktor Tsikhanov also has a lot of worth. And how is he performing? 6 assists, 1 play of the match, 6.9. That's not too bad. Maybe we could sell him on later for a lot more money. Um, so yeah, overall not doing too bad. Could be a lot better, of course, but our assistant manager, of course, decides who he wants to play. I'm very interested that he didn't really play Maloney a lot. 7 appearances, which were 3 in the non-competitive, 1 in the league, with 6 as a substitute. I think he would be better if we just played him from the first time on. But then again, I think he's preferring Yangol Herrera because he is a sort of the same player, a ball-winning midfielder. So could be the reason why he's not playing him. Anyway, I'm going to do some transfers. I'm going to be back when I've done the transfers, and I will show you the youth intake that we've got this season as well, and then I will close the season off. So I will be back once I've done some transfers. So guys, here we are again. Let me show you how we've been getting on. So we have played Cadiz, we've won 4-2. Then we've lost against Palmas, and we've won in the second round of the cup, but then lost against Real Betis, unfortunately. Is this Real Betis? I think it is. Real Santidar. Looks like it's Real Betis. Lost 2-3 and then tied 3-3 against Granada, which isn't too great. However, we do still have a couple of games to be played. Against these games are going to be tough, but Vigo we should be able to beat. This we should be able to beat. We should be able to beat. Probably calculating a loss against Sevilla and Madrid. Real Sebastian, we're probably is going to be tough. Real Madrid at home, we won against them away, so might as well be able to win at home. Then Real Español has Hispanis, which we can also beat. Atletico Bilbao shouldn't be too hard. So it's a mixed load of fixtures. It should mean that we should be able to keep that sixth spot. I'm not sure, maybe go up higher. If we just keep the sixth spot in the first season with Girona, then that would be great. Let me show you what kind of transfers I've made. So I have signed 2 players actually on free transfers. This ball-winning midfielder who's just going to be a backup, Miguel Atienza. He's going to be a very, very, very low backup, but just okay physicals, okay mentals. He's good at what he does in the ball-winning midfield position. And then also bringing in Lebo Motiba from Strasbourg, just a backup striker. Probably gonna do pretty well for us. He's, I think, on a 3-year deal, so he's just going to be a backup. I just wanted a bit more depth in my squad. Also, since a lot of people, a lot of players are leaving on free contracts at the end of the season, I also loaned out our big friend. Where is he? Where is he now? I thought I loaned him out. Can I see it right here? Transfer history out. Think we should be able to see it here. Jesse Lingard loaned him out to Wolves. They're paying all of his wages. He wasn't really playing a lot for us, so I just want to get him some playing time. Maybe I can sell him on for a profit later on. And then also let's go check in the squad. I have not offered contracts to Juan Pepe and Boya Garcia. Why? Because this guy's 33-year-old. He's only a backup, and Juan Pepe also is 32 years old, so I'm just going to buy a replacement for them once they leave. So we're going to have to figure that out in the next season. Anyway, I will sim through to our youth intake here. We're expected to have an excellent intake, so I'm very curious. I will be back once this intake has gone, and I will show you what kind of players we got, and that will be for you in a couple of seconds. For me, it will be in an hour or so. So I will see you once again in a bit. So guys, here we are, the youth intake, the excellent intake that we got, and it's looking quite okay. I have a feeling that the first couple of intakes in your Football Manager save are usually good, and then they just start going worse after that. But Pep Aspar, 14 first touch, 13 technique, 11 passing, looking like a deep lying playmaker who can come far with his 15 aggression. Might train him to a ball-winning midfielder, however his tackling is very weak. Physically, pretty okay player. Mentally, already 16 teamwork and 13 work rate, which is nice. Then we also got Ismaili Kane, also very good, 15 finishing, 15 first touch, might be a very good attacking midfielder here. He is now stated as a central midfielder. Um, okay physicals, he's a mercenary personality, so that's not very good, but you can't really do anything about that. And then the rest of them are okay. This keeper has 18 determination, which is nice. Tuxus has 12 determination, but light-hearted. Also really isn't looking at anything special. 17 determination for this other youngster. So it doesn't look too great, but it could have been a lot worse. The last clip I will have for you is when we are going to end the season. I haven't showed you where we are currently, but I'm gonna tell you it's going a bit worse than we expected. So in the next clip, you'll see how we did at the end of the season and how we are going to improve. So here we are, the end of the season. We finished in 10th in our first season in charge of Girona as a director of football. We have done pretty okay, I would say. We were expected to come in 14th and we've come in 10th, so that's not bad. If you look at the schedule, we have really dropped it in the second half of the season. We have 4, 6, 8, 11 losses, 1 draw, and only 4 wins. We should have done a lot better, and I'm actually surprised we turned into 10th. It's because of this good run of form here. But we should have just gotten some points somewhere here. It were very close losses as well. Right here, a 3-4 loss, a 3-4 loss here, a 2-3 loss, a 1-3 loss. Did win against Atletico Madrid and against Real Sebastian and Alaves, but we should have done a lot better there. Anyway, we already also got our budget. Our budget is 3.3 million with 79 in the waste budget. It's not a lot, but it's going to be enough. I think a lot of loanies are leaving as well, so we should be able to go ahead and start grabbing in some other good players that we want. Then for the finances, we're 11 million in the deficit, but we're gonna get a lot more money in, I think, at the end of the Liga season from all the places that you've placed. And I think in La Liga, if I can see it somewhere, it should say what kind of money you get paid out. I think it should be around here. Um, Parachute payment term. No, it doesn't say it here, but I think it's around 45, 50 million, something like that. I think they get a lot of money from here. Also, what happened was that our Stadium is being improved. Oh, first things first, I wanted to show you this. So we've gained 68,000 social media followers, season ticket holders, and the waiting list have also increased. We've got more family and less fair weather, so that's all good. Then also what I wanted to show you is that our facility has been downgraded and we're trying to get them back up. And our stadium is being expanded, 4,000 extra seats for 5.7 million. We're gonna be done building in January, so that's pretty nice. That would generate us some income. Because as you can see, I think most of our home games were sold out attendance right there. 11, that's 10,000. This one was 11,000. This one was 9,000. So we're getting pretty close there, but at least for the sold out houses, we get a lot more seating place, which is nice. So that's how our first ever season as the Girona director of football went. We're going to make some signings, we're going to do some other things, but all of that you will see in the next video. If you want to know how also you can play as a director of football, then follow the link down below in the description. There's a detailed guide where I show you how you can set up your own game so you can only play as director of football and you let your assistant manager function as your manager itself. Then also, I have also will drop down a link where you see how I explain how I make all of these signings. I make all of these signings based on a data sheet that I made for myself, an Excel sheet, and therein I can paste all the players and I compare them to other players that we have scouted and see which are the best for the position and for the tactic. So also take a look at those in the bottom in the description. If you have any other questions, please feel free to leave a like and a comment down below with what you want to ask me, and subscribe if you want to see more. I upload this series every 2 weeks. So that's all. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and hope to see you in the next episode. Ooh, guys, here we are again. Episode 3 of the Director of Football Career Mode. We are playing as Girona, and last episode you saw the ending of the first ever season, and in this episode you will see the whole second season. You will see how we did, what kind of signings we made in this transfer window and in January transfer window. You will see the youth intake, and you'll see how we did at the end of the season. Before we start, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And let's get on to the video. So first things first, let me show you how we've been doing. So we started pretty poorly. Memphis Depay put 5 past us, but of course the Dutch legend is one of the greats of the football game. We then won 2-1 against Valencia and another 4-4 draw against Vallecano after losing 2-3 to Atletico Bilbao. It's not bad results. This one we could have won, this one we could have tied or maybe won. But anyway, we have a lot lower budget, and if you look in the competition, we're currently on 14th, and it does say that we are expected to come in 13th. So we have upgraded the squad a little bit, the pundits say, but I feel like we've done a lot more than just a little upgrades. Let me show you what we've been doing. So let's go to the transfer history. And let's first go to the outs. So we've sold Artem Dovbik to Bournemouth for 11.7 mil. I wasn't really gonna play him. He was on high wages. He was a backup for us because he wasn't even the best striker that we had. So just sold him off. Then also the youngster John Solis sold him off for I think a combined fee of 17 million. It could turn out to be, which is a monster profit that we could get. Juventus just when it came in with that offer, and I really couldn't say no. So he's off to Juventus. Then a lot of smaller signings. Porto has gone to Lens for 3.4. Really wasn't going to play him, and he was a bit older. Tony Villa also went to Espanyol for 1.5. I'm glad he's gone, as well as Arteto, who we weren't going to play a lot. We sold him in the end for 1 million to Brest. Wasn't really going to have any playing time for us. Then some backup players we also sold to Malaga, and Bernardo, our 35-year-old Colombian centre back, has left also to Atletico Nacional. Why? We weren't really gonna use him anymore, so we've sold them. And in their place of those players, we already bought 5 players. So the first one is Seka Kota, and the people who also watch my other saves, they might know him because I've already bought him once there. So Koita in as an advanced forward, only paying 850k is a steal in my opinion. Then also Killian Fisher, a right back, a backup who we bought in. A very good player according to my data sheet, a very talented player and already very good at his position. We also signed Sergi Cardona, a left back, who is very good according to my data sheet. He's going to be the starting left back for us, I do believe, and otherwise he's a good backup to have. Then Ellen Velasco, a very well-rounded player, good to have. Spent a lot of money on him, 6.5 million, so I really hope he's going to be worth it. But we are just going to have to see at the end of the season. And then Alejandro Frances, who we bought in at centre back. We're going to need a centre back later on because, as you can see, this is the team that I have picked as my starting team. And Daley Blind is 34 years old. Callens is 32 years old and Da Costa is 31 years old. So we're going to need little bit of the future, and that's what I did with buying in Callens. He also has some nice potential, so let's hope he can get there. And those are, I think, all the signings we made in this transfer window. Did I make also some signings in the last transfer window? I don't think so. Oh yeah, I did. I bought Manu Trigueros from Villarreal, 1.8 million. He came in just a lot, very old, but he's very good. I think he's one of the best players that we have. Then we also bought in Gonzola Maroni, a very good backup shadow striker or advanced forward who can play anywhere in that front positions. Then we also brought in Roberto Pereira on a free, just a backup, 33 years old, not really gonna play a lot anymore, but just nice to have like a bit of squad depth. Then we also bought in Alvaro Fernandez, a goalkeeper, starting goalkeeper. He was a lot better than Gazaniga, who we had before, but we just kept him in. Also bought in Jairo Corteles, which you probably already saw. He's just a youngster. He didn't really pay much for him. Then also Miguel Atienza, we bought him in. Just going to be a backup midfielder. Lebo Motiba, who is going to be the striker for us. You saw in the last episode that we bought him in the January transfer window. And then Jesse Lingard, of course, we also brought in. Then we also already sold some people before that. Manu Vallejo we sold for 7.5 million, so that's some nice cash. Then Paulo Gazaniga we sold for 4 million, and beware, we sold him for 4 million. Then we bought a replacement for him, or we got him in on a free, who is actually also better according to my data stats. So very happy with that. Then also David Lopez left. I think he already left before, and I think all of these others didn't really leave. So that's all fine to see. So not really a lot going on there. According to, if you look at the staff, we did sell at some point, or we got in compensation for 2 staff members, and it was almost 2 million. That's just 2 million free money that we got here. Our overall bank balance is looking pretty nicely now. 16 million, of which 8 we have to spend on our transfer budget. I did ask if we could get a new training ground. We couldn't, but as you know from the previous video, we are uploading, or we are upgrading our stadium, and we are planning to buy it as well. So we should be able to buy it at the end of the season, and that is going to be very nice for us. I think that's all I wanted to show you for now. So you've seen the signings that I made. You've seen how we did. I will be back in the January transfer window. Before I skip to that, if you want to know how I make these signings, please follow the link below. In the link below, you will see how I set up the save as a director of football, and you can see how I do my signings. So I will leave the links to those videos in the description, and I will be back to you when we start the January transfer window. Hi guys, here we are. The January transfer window has begun. And let me show you how we've been doing. So we've lost against it. It's kind of okay. It's loses against wins, against tough wins, and then we're losing games we shouldn't be losing, against Tenerife right here, a 2-0 victory or a loss, which is just insane because Tenerife aren't even that bad, aren't even that good. Also a loss against Getafe, who are 14th in the league, so we just need to be a bit more consistent here. Also a loss against Cadiz, which is very random because Cadiz aren't also very good, and we had more XG. So very random results here I see. We do have some pretty tough matches here against Real Sociedad, Valencia, Atletico Madrid, and Valencia. But I think other than that, we should get a couple of points here and there. We're still 11th, and last season we were 9th or 6th, I mean. But we aren't actually that far off the points that we had last season, so it's not going that much worse. It's just that it's going okay, but I want it to go like a lot better. So what I'll be doing is I'll be scouting in the January transfer window for some free transfers that we can pick up, and hopefully they can help us boost our squad level up a lot. So that's what I'll be doing in the transfer window. I will be back to you once I finished those signings and once I've possibly found some reinforcements that we can use at this moment. So I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, guys, the end of the January transfer window is here, and let's see how we did. We did actually do pretty well. Two Spanish Cup games in which we won, and then a third one in which we lost, unfortunately. But besides that, we had a win against Real Sociedad, a 6-0 win against Vallecano, a win against Atletico, which was very unexpected, and a tie against Atletico Bilbao, which means we are currently in ninth and not doing very, very bad for ourselves. If we can keep this up, we could actually finish maybe potentially in the European spots, which will help us a lot with the prize money that we get from that. We do have still have a tough road ahead of us because we still have Sevilla, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and I think Real San Sebastian, yeah, is Real Sociedad once again at the end of the year, but we should be able to make something of it. Then as for transfers, the only person that I've got in is Angus Gunn, a backup goalkeeper. He's going to be joining us next season, and he's going to be competing for the first-time spot together with Alvaro Fernandez. If we look at the squad, nothing else really changed. No one left, and no one really came into our team. There was one person who I brought in, Mendes, who is just a backup player, but for 3k a week, just to have someone who can fill in a role for you sometimes is very good. I am going to be playing through a lot more. As you can see, Frances is unlocking really nicely. I've also gotten more scouts, so I've got 9 scouts, which means that I can use all of those scouts to scout more players, and to also, when I find a player that's good, go ahead and click on the right mouse button and scout him fully, because I do need my players to be fully scouted for them to be able to be pasted into my Excel sheet. Anyway, that's going to be it. I will be back once we've got the youth intake going, and then I will be back after the season has ended. But first things first, you'll see me in 5 seconds with the youth intake of this year. So here we are with the youth intake, and as you can see, it's looking pretty well, pretty good. Few youngsters that are elite talents. I will show you them one by one. Shabir Mohammed Rasim is a Sri Lankan, but I think also Spanish blood. Not looking too good, but his physical's already up there. 13 determination, fairly ambitious. He might improve a lot, so let's just keep an eye out on him. Then Andrew, 17 determination, 17 flair. He's looking a real deal. Fairly determined as well, so also glad to have him in. And then the guy I'm most passionate about, Armand Asliana, an attacker who could play in that attacking role, but look at these mentals already and the physicals. 13 passing, 15 technique is like perfect for that position. Also high potential, so really looking forward to what he can become. And then we also have Ivan Muro right here. 13 determination, 16 teamwork, and 15 work rate. A realist, also very nice. And if we scroll down, then you see a lot more players who I just got because they had either a good personality or good mentals. This guy has 12 determination. Alfred Calm has 13. However, he's a mercenary. And then also these two guys I got in because this guy has 17 determination, which is not even that bad. And we also have Pep here, who has 11 determination but is a professional. So looking quite okay, Some of them we could already put in our second team. So for example, André, I will probably move into my second team if I am able to. And the other guys I will just keep in my under 19s, which should be fine. Anyway, that's who we signed. You can look at them all right here. Signed 2 more here, only because of their determination or their personality. And Edgar Fortes because of his personality, which is balanced, and 17 work rate, 15 work rate, 17 teamwork. Anyway, those were our signings, our youth signings. I will be back to you at the end of the season, and let me just give you a quick glance of where we are at this moment. We're in 8th, 3 points behind Atletico Bilbao, a few points behind Villarreal, so doing pretty okay for ourselves. It's a bit of an improvement from last year, but we're also buying our stadium. We're also getting more money in through a bigger stadium. So all in all, we're doing financially a lot better than we were doing last year. Anyway, I will be back to you once we have finished the season. Alright, last clip of this episode, the end of season review of Girona, how we did in the 24-25 season. Let's go through it. So first of all, the new arrivals. who have made a big impact. They say Gerson Mendes, but I think the one with the most influence is Alvaro Fernandez, the new goalkeeper. Also, Koita doing pretty well, 39 games and 12 goals. Motiba coming in on a free, 10 goals, 4 assists, and Valesco 5 goals, 4 assists. All looking very nice. Also, Frances, our record signing with 3 goals, 1 assist, 39 apps, looking pretty good right there. Then, as our transfers out, you probably already know who went out this season. Vallejo, Porto, Charira, Gazaniga, one of the few that we need to mention here, and then loans out, all the youngsters that we've loaned out, and of course Alex Garcia, so he can get some playing time, and there's also a mandatory future fee on his contract. Let's go through the season results. We have finished in 7th, which is great, which is an improvement of last year. We're now into the European spots, which is good to see. This means, and hopefully our coach will do this as well, that we will get a lot of rotation going in our team. Of course, knocked out in the 4th round against Granada, beat 3 lower league teams, but then against Granada at home, it wasn't enough. A goal scorer, Viktor Tsigankov, with 14 goals. The board are very pleased with us, and if you look at this run of form, we did do pretty poorly, and then we started to pick it up right here with 3 wins and 2 draws. Then we lost 4 in a row, which were, to be fair, against opponents that we should be able to beat, but maybe if we just beat those games, we'll easily get the 4th position. We just need to become more consistent. This game against Girona, we could have won a lot more easily, but looking at the XG, we still managed to win by quite a margin. Then, as well as the end of the season, 4 wins out of our possible 6 games, which is really good and nice to see. Also, a 6-0 loss against Barcelona there, which is not very good. So, 7th position is an upgrade from last season. I think we have 6 points more than last season. It was very close here. Look, if you just lose one more game, then you're suddenly in 10th. So it's very, very close there. Luckily, we did manage to beat them to that European spot. Biggest win, 6-1, 6-0 victory over Vallecona, and match to remember, 2-0 victory over Sevilla. And of course, goal of the season for Martin. Apparently, I didn't really look at it. Then our finances. So we don't have any new sponsor deals. We did get more broadcast revenue this season because we finished higher, more corporate income and more match day income. The match day income is probably also because we have now a bigger stadium and we've bought it. Then for the shirt sales, 1 million in shirt sales. We've sold 6,000 shirts, which is okay. It's not great. It's just okay. Then how we lined up, no one actually scored above us a 7 overall, but as you can see, most of them did pretty well. Our new signing Frances has a 6.9 and he got played a lot, and Koita and Motiba also up front. Velasco to the left and Trigueros also in the middle doing pretty well, so very happy with that. Then do we have some new records? Yeah, Trigueros 10 assists in a game or in a season and 5 player of the matches, which is very nice. Then Yangol Herrera has the worst discipline with 6 yellow cards and 1 red card, which isn't even that much, I do say. And the highest transfer fee paid, of course, for Alejandro Frances. But as you saw already, he was definitely worth it. Then let's go to the manager timeline. I don't really find this very interesting, but here you can see how we did. So we passed the 21 million spent on transfers, and we brought in a record 37 million from transfer fees, which is nice. And talking about transfers, we currently have 7 million to work with 60k in the wage budget, which is the same amount that we had before. So not really a lot going on there. However, we do have 7 million in the negative in the wage budget, but we're going to get a lot of income, especially from the European spots and also from the Spanish Liga, which I think in the 7th spot you'll get like something like 50 million. So that's nice. Maybe we can earn something with player sales because, of course, if we look at our tactic, Daily Blind is leaving and Calens is leaving. So two of our ball playing defenders are leaving, which means that Da Costa is the only one who's a backup in there. So we're going to really need to strengthen the squad. I'm just going to play a reactive here, so if a player gets sold or wants to leave, then I will bring in a replacement. For example, John Carlos needs to be replaced, but fortunately, we are already getting in Angus Gunn. And as you can see, I already made 2 bids for 2 players, but I'm not going to show you anything more about that. That's something for the next episode. If you like this episode, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode where we take on for the 3rd season of Girona's Director of Football. See you there. Hi guys and welcome to the 4th episode of this Girona Director of Football gameplay series. Last episode you saw us end our 2nd season with Girona. This episode we will jump into the 3rd season. Before we start, I want to ask you, please leave a like and subscribe down below if you want to see more. And also, if you want to know how I make all the signings, go check out the link in the description. I have a video there how I make all the signings based on Excel and data. And there's also a link there in which you can also set up your game so you can play as a director of football. Without further ado, let's jump into the video and let's show you how we've been doing. And I'm going to tell you we're doing pretty well. We've just won 3 of our first 4 games, losing against Real Madrid and also qualifying for the Europa Conference League. So we're currently going to be playing in there. We're going to play against Vikingur, Servette, Kervadas, Antwerp, Aberdeen and AGF. And I think AGF is Swedish, no Danish. Vikingur, I didn't even know they're Icelandic, and Servette is Swiss, of course. So not too great opponents in the Europa Conference League there, so that should be all fine. But the thing, what you're probably here for, is the transfers, and let me just show you what we've been doing. So I first need to start with what we did last season, at the end of last season, because a lot of signings have come in that way. So Fabio Mateus I've bought from Sporting in Brazil, very well-rounded player. I was gonna loan him out, unfortunately didn't loan out, so we don't really have a place for him anymore. So I'm hoping that I can still loan him out to someone else. Then our biggest signing ever, Juan Miranda. He was previously at Barcelona, the youth product. Then he went on a loan on to Schalke, and then he went on a free to Real Betis, and we picked him up for 70 million. And if you look at this guy, you understand why. Great physicals, great mentals, great technicals, just a well-rounded, very, very well-rounded player who's going to be a leader in our squad for a long time. On 60k a week, so quite expensive, but he's going to be here and he's going to be here to stay for the next 5 years, going to be definitely the starting left back. Then also we bought in Tahuhiro Nakai. I've bought this guy before on my saves and look at these stats. Like physically not the best, mentally still lacking in aggression and bravery maybe, but 16 dribbling, 16 first touch, 16 passing and 16 technique is just insane for a player like that. I think he's going to really set the league on fire. He already has 4 appearances with 1 assist and 7.05 rating, so I'm really expecting big things from this guy. Then I had to find a replacement for Danny Blind, who left, so that I came out for David Zima, a center back who is okay. 1.4 million only paid for him, so really happy with that signing. Then also bought in Liam Scales. Liam Scales is an Irish individual who's just going to be a backup ball playing defender for us because we also lost our backup ball playing defender. And then Marko Ivicic I brought in, and I will tell you why we brought him in. That is because Maloney actually left at the end of last season. Real San Sebastian, they triggered his release clause. So as you can see here, 9 million he left. Real San Sebastian, Maloney was a real leader for us. Like played every game, was really playing well. But unfortunately he left. Then also Alex Garcia. He left already. He was already being sold to us. We had a mandatory fee with Wolves, so they had to buy him for 70 mil. So that's very nice to see. Then also Alexander Cullens, our backup ball playing defender, we left. He left for VDG in the Brazil league. Wasn't really playing a lot, just some substitute appearances. So happy to see him go. Also loaned out a lot of players, and Idris Baba, who we bought him for 2.1 million and only played a couple of games. We sold on for 500k because we didn't really need him and he was a bit too much. Then also Daley Blind left on a free, as same as Juan Arango, who was a youngster. I don't really care about those too much. Arno Otis, who was also a backup, and other backups, which aren't very noteworthy, also got sold. And that means that we're now in the 25-26 season. In that season, we also sold a couple more players. Jesse Lingard left for 250k on deadline day, bought him in for free, played a couple of games, not that many, mostly as substitutes, and then left to Atletico Pamplona, where he's going to be a starter, I do think. And then Gerson Mendes, who we brought in on a free, unfortunately didn't really, it was my mistake, I didn't really take into account that you could only have 3 foreign players. He wasn't good enough to be one of them, so I sold him on for 100k, just a little bit of profit. And then Ivan Martin, who wanted to leave, who expressed the desire to leave, we bought him in for 2 million. I didn't do that, I think the game did that, and then sold him on for 4 million. So okay that he's gone. He was a starter for us, but he just didn't want to sign anymore, so that's why he left. And in replacement, we brought in Franco for him. So Franco is in 16 HR fitness, 16 stamina, just a beast on that midfield. Hopefully he can fill in the gaps, the defensive and attacking gaps in that position. And then I think one of the best signings, value for money, Jesus Hernandez. Look at this guy. The best stats for just an attacker. Mentally okay, physically well-rounded, and technically he's, I think, also just average. So he's a 3.5 star. He could have the potential to become 4.5 stars. One of our non-European rules we have spent on him. So he has come in on a free or on a fee of 6.5 mil, and he's going to set the world on fire. I'm just going to show you 3 games, 2 goals, 1 assist, 7.03 rating. So doing very well for ourselves. Other than that, nothing really to mention. We have bought our stadium, which you can see right here. So the 15,000 all-seater we now own, which is great, which means that all the income we get from that goes into our pocket, which means it will really help our finances a lot. It doesn't show it here, but we could go to income and then check for last month. And then last month you see here, gate receipts, we're certainly getting 727 thousand, while last season we got 1.1 million. So last season we got 3 million, so we're already like on 1/5 there. So we're really gonna earn back buying back our stadium. As you can see here with the wages, we did go out and upgrade our wages a little bit. We're now playing European football, so we should be allowed to. And for debts, we're 10 million in debt because we bought our stadium, but that's not something to worry about. Anyway, I will sim through to the January transfer window, show you how we've been doing, then sim through, show you what kind of signings we made in January, show you the youth intake, and at the end of the episode I will show you how we did in this 3rd season with Girona. Anyway, stay tuned and I will see you in a little bit. Hi guys, here we are, January transfer window, and the run has been very mixed. As you can see, a tie where we shouldn't have tied, a loss against Barcelona, then a 3-0 random victory, while also after that losing 2-1 against Valladolid, then a random tie against Madrid, and a loss against Cadiz, a loss against Sevilla, which is a bit harsh, and a loss against Mallorca, while also winning on the road at Almeria. I really don't understand um, all of these results, but hey, we're not doing that bad. We're in 8th position right now, and we're very close to the 4th position. We were actually one time we were in 4th. So that's very interesting. It's very close because it's 4 points ahead, and we're in 5th, and 4 points down, and we're suddenly in 12th. So we really should pick it up this next couple of seasons. But of course, we're now also playing in the Conference League with Chelsea also being there. We're placed 16th, so that means that we're going to be placed in the first round, and we'll face any of these teams. So I think we should be able to take them, but of course, you never really know. Well, anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. As for the transfer budget, I don't quite know what happened, but we suddenly have 17 million to spend. So I don't know why we've been given that, but I know that we are definitely going to try to spend some of that. So I will be back at the end of the January transfer window and show you what kind of business we have done. Here we are, the end of the January transfer window. And before I show you the transfers that we made, let me show you one little thing here. Our assistant manager. We have sacked our previous assistant manager, and now Brian Kloeg is our new assistant manager who's going to function as the manager. And look at this guy's stats. Preferred formation 4-4-2, which is the same as previous guy, Knudsen, but now we have 15 tactical knowledge, 16 motivating, and 15 people management with 17 player ability, judging player ability and potential, which is great. He hasn't played a game for us yet. I think I say that, but I think he was already leading our game against Espanyol, which we won 1-3. So very nice victory there. And let me show you what kind of transfers we made. So if we go to transfer history and go ahead and look right here, we did sell a couple of players. First noteworthy sale was Yangol Herrera, who left after a couple seasons, wasn't really playing a lot last season, and is sold for 8.7 million. So very nice to get some money in for him. Then Fabio Mateus, who we bought in for 2.2 mil. He didn't really play a lot for us. Our manager didn't really select him, so we sold him on for 5 million. Made a nice little 3 million profit on him there. And then Marco Ivicic, who we brought in as replacement for Maloney, didn't really get to play a lot, only 2 games, which I think both of them as a substitute. So decided to loan him out with an option for Malaga or Granada to buy him for 2.2 million. We'll see if they take that. And also a very important sale here. I think I'm not sure if I can find it somewhere, because it should be somewhere right here. Oh, yeah, right here it is. Miguel Guterres went for 19.5 mil. Let me see if I can also find it like that. Yeah, here he went. One thing, Deobo Mutiba, who we brought in on a free, left for 4 million to go to Al Weda. So nice little cashing in on him. Didn't really get to play a lot last season or this season. Only 3 goals and 13 appearances. And then the big sale, Miguel Gutierrez, our starting left back, he left to join Juventus. Was playing really well for us and was playing a lot, but had that 19.5 mil release clause in his contract, so we had to let him go. He's now at Juventus, where he's earning a lot more. And that meant for us we had to go into the transfer market and buy a replacement. And buying a replacement we did. Firstly, we brought in Patrick Dogu, who is a wonder kid. For me, it doesn't say so, but he's a 3.5 star potential with still potential to go big. Star player, 50k a week, expensive contract, but expecting a lot from him. Can also play as the winger position, so really looking forward to what he can bring. What I will do with him is I will go ahead and put him to train on the wing back, take control over this player's individual training. That's all right. And then the last signing that we did, or one other signing that we bring in, Adriano Oyebule. It's a wonder kid, 3 stars already, could become a very good bottom in for 9.5, and just take a look at these stats. Great physicals, like a physical beast, 186 centimeters, and great physicals or great mentals wherever you need it. Great technicals, could even become better. So I hope he gets a lot of playtime under our new coach or under our new manager, and hope he develops very nicely so we can sell him on for a profit. And then last but not least, we expanded our salary cap for this player, 110k a week, and we paid 11.5 million for him. Destiny Udogi, previously from Tottenham Hotspur, but he's now into our team, and we are also going to see if he would want to play as an inverted winger on the right, see if we can play him there, because he's looking very nicely. Of course, good mentals, great technicals, and great physicals. Just a perfect player to have in this team. Really looking forward how we will do. Let's take a look how we did in January. Last but not least, we won 3 of our 4 games. We are actually through to the Spanish Cup quarterfinal where we're playing Levante, so very much looking forward to that. We lost against Madrid and we tied against Atletico, which means we're currently in 7th, so still on the same pace as last season. However, look how close it is. If we lose one game, we could suddenly be 10th, and if we just win two games, we're in 4th. So let's just hope that we can keep this flow going that we have been going on right now with this new manager. I will be back with you when we have the youth intake. It's going to be another excellent intake with some great youth prospects. I will be back in a couple of seconds with that. The youth intake. I've already taken a look. Be surprised. Be very surprised at what kind of youth prospects we got here. Look at all these ratings. This is like the definition of an excellent intake. Let me just take you through them real quick. First things first, Narcissus, a goalkeeper with 17 determination, great stats, fairly determined. He's probably gonna get very far. Very happy with him. Then secondly, I think the best of the bunch. Look at this guy with his 14 balance, driven personality, great mentals, and okay physicals already. Could just almost, I'm just saying something here. If he just increases his physicals, he's a starter for our team right now. Really looking forward to seeing what he can become. Then Jorge Cano, also turf denomination. Look at all these mentals and the okay physicals already. These guys are looking the real deal. Also, Nanuel Dennis, 12 determination, 12 first touch, 13 passing, and 14 technique with great physicals already balanced. Personality could also turn out to be a real star. Then Eloy with 11 determination, 14 flash, 16 teamwork, 13 work rate, and great physicals already. A fairly loyal striker. Then also Javi Pusto with 10 determination, fickle personality. I brought him in just because he has great potential. That's why I really wanted him in. And then we also have Eloy Volgas, who could turn out to be okay. Raymond, driven personality once again, 18. Oh no, wait, that's the different one. Jan Albrecht, also light-hearted, 14 determination, also looking pretty good. Jan Chechta, driven personality once again, 19 determination on that guy. Really looking forward to what he can become. Then a couple of guys who we didn't really offer a contract to because most of them were unambitious or had a very low determination, as you can see right here. 10 determination, professional, not really interested in that. Or let's see, I meant here balanced, 8 determination, that's not it. And then also brought in Robert, who had 14 determination. So all in all, a very good youth intake. These guys might really start to play a part in a couple of episodes when we are a bit of seasons further. I'm not going to show you where we are currently in the league. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm going to tell you it's very close. So I will just sim forward a couple more months until we are done with the competition. It should be only, I think, one more month and 2 more months, and then we should be done. And I will show you how we did in this third season with Girona. Hello guys, here we are at the end of season review of the 25-26 season. This is our third season in charge. Let me just run through with you how we did this season. First things first, we go to the new arrivals, and of course the best arrival, Jesus Hernandez, 21 goals and 13 assists. That's great stats for him, 48 appearances, so doing pretty well. Also Angus Gunn, only 2 appearances but a 7 overall rating is very nice. Udogi, 11.5 million for him, 18 apps, 6.9 is not bad. Then Franco, 2.5 mil only, but 36 apps with 3 goals and 3 assists. And also Juan Miranda, our record signing with 40 apps. Appearances, 12 goals, 5 assists, just wonderful things from him. Then also the other joinings. Also did pretty well. Dogu, 9 apps, 13 appearances as substitutes, 2 goals, 1 assist, doing pretty well. Hopefully also improving a lot. And then right here we have Adriano Uyabula, who we think are going to loan out, because if he doesn't play a lot, then we don't really want to keep him around because he needs to develop. Anyway, at the end of this season, we finished in 7th. So once again, that 7th position, but look how close it is. We have just managed to finish in 7th, but we're really climbing ourselves up in that mid-table. Fortunately, we cannot decide which tactic we're using, so that's a bit of a shame. But in the 7th position is not bad. We got 5 more points, I think, than last year, because last year we had 54 points, so 5 points more. So every season it seems like we are improving and improving. So that's very good. The Home attendance is pretty low here, so really looking to see if we can up that somehow, some way, maybe with a new record signing. For the Conference League, we did pretty okay. We beat out Antwerp, who we lost against in the group stage, but then Ghent took us out with a 2-2 and a 2-0 win. Then also the Spanish Cup, knocked out by Levante in the quarterfinal. I think the quarterfinal is the furthest we've ever gotten, so pretty happy with how we did. The board is also happy with how we did, so let's go ahead and go to the moments to remember. Of course, the 8-0 victory against the Icelandic side, Vikener. And the match to remember, 2-3 win over Almeria. 2-3 win over Almeria is something that it shouldn't be a match to remember. We should just win that straight on. Anyway, let's go to the finances. We have gotten 1 million more in sponsorships this year. A lot more in corporate and hospitality, which is mainly due to us buying the stadium. So currently we're earning 750k more. It's not that much, but it's something. The competition prize money is at 5.5 mil, but this is going to be upping a lot more, I do think, because we should be getting a lot more money from the Conference League. Anyway, for shirt sales, you see 1 million with 6,000 shirts sold. I think this kind of stays the same. So looking pretty good. We're making steps forward, not big steps, but as you can say, as I said, as a director of football, you can't really do a lot of things with your team. You just have let the manager play. So here you can see how our team did. So Miranda and Skills, if we click on them, they've all really been played in that ball playing defender spot. That's where they played the most. So that's where you usually get the ratings from. So if we're looking at this, what we do need is a central midfielders, a right back, or maybe a right winger and a central defender. That's what we're looking for here. I think for the rest we're pretty okay with the striker partnership. I'm very happy. We just need to see if we can improve our defense. Maybe right back position is also okay, but defense, midfield, and right midfield positions. Then over to the accolades. Most goals by a player of the season, Jesus Hernandez. Most goals by a player in a league match, Jesus Hernandez. Most players of the match awards in the season, 6 from who else than Jesus Hernandez. So looking very good there. Sergio became our youngest top scorer, which is also nice to see. And Alan Velasco has gotten the most assists former player in the season, which is 18. And Velasco, let me tell you, we brought him in for 6.5k. He's now worth 24 to 26 million. So looking very good. Had his best season so far for us. So looking very interesting to maybe sell on. Let's go to history in the making. Let's see if we did anything special this year. So we did have the record sale of Miguel Guterres. Brian Klug took over as assistant manager, but of course we all know that he is our actual manager. And of course, Dennis signed on the dotted line for Unskilled. And those are some youngsters, some very promising youngsters, as you already saw in the previous clip. Anyway, that's it. What we also see here is that we have, of course, the season review, but also we have these highlights. So for some reason, we've lost some social media followers. I have no idea why that actually happened because we're now playing in Europe, but looking very interesting why that is. As our club vision, we will accept this again. Record first division top half finish. Well, we're already doing that, so they shouldn't be asking for too much. I have nothing else to say here. Girona training camp will go to the Netherlands. And then last things what I wanted to show you is our finances. We're currently 27 million in debt, and that's mainly because of the high wages that we currently have. Salary commitments are very high, so I might be looking to ship some players off, to sell some players and bring some others in, because this is the transfer budget that we can work with this season. Only 3.88 mil, so that's not a lot, but we'll see what we can do with it. This is going to be the end of this season. Next season, we're going to try to take on the Spanish First Division and hope for maybe a spot in the top 4. It's going to be hard, but we're only 8 points off. So if we just have a little bit of a better season, then we should be able to make it. as well as I'm just going to show you where they expect us to be placed in the 10th position. So we once again did better than was expected and expected of us. And as you can see right here, we got promoted in the for first season, then 10th, then 10th, now 7th, and then next season also 7th. So doing pretty good for ourselves, just going on that upward trend slowly but surely. We're making the squad better and better. Anyway, for now, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you've enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like. They help me out a lot. And subscribe down below. This series will be uploaded every Tuesday and Friday. So stay tuned for that. If you want any of the links of how you can set up your game as a director of football, click the link down below. And you can also see the link where I explain how you can make signings with Excel. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and see you in the next episode. Hello, guys, and welcome back to the 5th episode of this Director of Football Let's Play series in FM24. Before we start, let me ask you if you want to leave a like and subscribe down below if you want to see more of this content, and let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see next. Anyway, let's get on to the video. So last season we finished in 7th position, which meant that we're now playing in a conference league, and we did win in that conference league 3-1 and 3-1 against a Serbian side TCS. I really can't pronounce this, but that made us go through, and we're playing in those conference league games Luzern, who I think are from Switzerland, Brentford from England, Torpedo Kit, which are from Georgia, I don't know them, Young Boys, Adana from Turkey, and Banik from Czechia, Czech Republic. So those are opponents. We have played 4 games, 3 wins, 1 tie against Real San Sebastian. So off to a good start. Not sure if we can keep it up, but at least we have gotten a good start. How you can also play as a director of football, there's a link in the description if you want to check it out. I will show you how you can set up your game so you can also play as a director of football. And there's also a link there to a video where I explain how I make all the signings, because all the signings I make in this series are based on data and data alone. So let me just show you what kind of signings and what kind of sales we had in this transfer window. So first things first, the 25-26 season we did have we had no one coming in at the end of the season, but we did have some people leaving. Sergi Cardona, who we brought in for 3.7 mil, didn't really play for us a lot. Our coach didn't select him and he wanted to leave, so just cashed in on him 1.3 million million, not that much, but it was good enough. Then Miguel Atenza went to Cadiz. I think we brought him in on a free, so 1.3 million is just free money for us. Didn't play a lot, was a lot of a backup for us, and the new trainer wasn't going to play him either. And Wesley Said, who we also brought in for 1.1 million, did play a lot for us, did play pretty well, but in the later seasons he was only a substitute, so just managed to sell him on. He was in the last year of his contract, so he's gone to Amiens in the French division. And then let's take a look at the transfers for this season. So we had one big sale. Alejandro Frances, our starting center back, left to Villarreal. They triggered his release clause of 27 million. I brought him in for 9.7 a couple seasons ago. He was going to be a star for us this season, but unfortunately Villarreal did manage to pull that release clause. Then also Victor Tsigankov, I can't pronounce that, also a starter for us, left to go to Wolves. He didn't want to really renew his contract, so I had to sell him on while I still could. 20 million we got for him. And also Marko Ivicic, the replacement for Maloney, never really got to play in the first team, didn't really get selected, so we managed to sell him on to Las Palmas for 3 million. I think a tiny 200,000 euros profit on him, but not too much. And noteworthy loans, these are all loans of youngsters, but Adriano Uyebule, we loaned him out to Hellas Verona as an important player. Really looking forward if he can develop right there. And then also we of course had to bring some people in. Last season I felt like we were really lacking in the right back position, so I brought in Ivan Macon, who is a very excellent wing back. He could play either left or right wing back. Great mentals, great physicals, and great technicals. A really good signing. 27 years old, 4-year deal. He could really become a very good player for us still. Then we've also brought in Paul Grim, a youngster, 20 years old, a youngster from FC Barcelona. He's a ball-winning midfielder, deep-lying playmaker, can play anywhere where we would want him in that midfield. As you can see, great physicals, great technicals, and same mentals already. Could still improve a lot, so really hoping that he would turn out to be one of those next Pedri and Gavi kind of players. And then also, of course, you saw that we had to sell Frances, Alejandro Frances, so we had to bring in a replacement, and we did that in the form of Igor Diev, a 26-year-old Russian center back, and as you can see, mentally insane, physically a beast, with who's 193 centimeters and just a very good, just a nonsense defender. Not a ball playing defender, but a no nonsense defender nonetheless. He could play as that ball playing defender as well, but with his 8 technique and 8 first touch, he's not really going to be of any use in that position. So I'm really looking forward to how our guy will play him. And if we're looking at it like that, if I let our new assistant manager who is functioning as our manager pick the selection, it's looking like this. No, it is actually, let me just, it's looking like this. So we have Alvaro in goal, then Juan Miranda and Dief in the back two positions. Then our new signing, Ivan Macon, as an inverted wing back, and Arnau Martinez still in that right back position. Then Pau Grim in the midfield, Velasco, who's wanted by a lot of clubs, still in that right left inverted wing back position, and of course Jesus Hernandez up front together with Goeta. There's also one guy who I actually didn't show up that we brought in, but we did bring in Piatek on a free transfer from Besiktas, and I know already didn't show up because I didn't show it. So physically a lot, very good, mentally great. As a technical, he is lacking a little bit, but as a pressing forward, he will do some damage for us for sure. And I think that's all of the signings that I really brought in. So what this means that I will be swimming through to the January transfer window. I will be showing you what kind of transfers we made right there. And before I end this episode actually, or this part, we are currently 60 million in profit, which is very good. Our wages have gone up once again a little bit, but not that much. And I think we have a lot better squad than we had last season. And also our net debt is now 34 million, so we're doing pretty good. If we keep these finances up, I want to see if we might be able to build a new stadium, but for that I think we first need to reach those Champions League spots, and I think that this team could really do it. Anyway, I will be swimming forward to the January transfer window, and I will see you then. So guys, here the January transfer window has begun, and before I show you anything else, let me just show you how we've been doing in the league. As you can see right here on the top, we're in 7th. This run of form is really disappointing. Against Espanyol, a draw, then a loss against Real Betis and Valencia, and also Real Madrid, which is to be expected. But after that, also not a lot of victories. Also a loss against Las Palmas, and I think this run of form here saved us. 3 wins in 3 games, which is very nice. Also games that we should be winning, and the next couple of games should really determine where we're going to be finishing the season, because as you can see, we're still in 7th. We're once again in 7th, the always 7th position, but this time we do have a bit of a buffer to 9th, so that's nice, and we're closer to the 5th and the 4th position than we were last season, so we're not that far off. I think we just need a little bit of good faith and good runs to be able to pull something off. In the Spanish division, we're not doing too terribly bad, and in the With our Conference League, we have also placed in the 14th spot. We have lost against Young Boys and against Brentford, but the other games we have lost against Lucerne and tied against Baník Ostrava from the Czechian Republic. So not doing too bad. I'm going to try to make some transfers. I don't have not a lot of transfer budget, but 6 million should be enough to just get one or maybe two transfers in this transfer window. And what I really want is another right back. So I'm going to go into the market for that, see if I can find someone, and I will back to you. I will be back to you at the end of the January transfer window and show you what kind of signings I have made. Alright guys, here we are at the end of the January transfer window, and let's first take a look how we did in that January transfer window. We did pretty well. Our winning streak has been extended with wins over Villarreal, Vigo, Tenerife and Real San Sebastian, which Real Sociedad, which is very good. We did, however, lose against second league side Zaragoza in the cup, so unfortunately didn't make it through. But this means that we're currently in fifth with 42 points. So if we just keep this up and we just can keep winning more than we're losing at the end of the season, we should be able to finish maybe in a European football spot, or even better, in a Champions League spot. Let me show you what kind of transfers we did, because there have been some. First things first, I will show you who have left the club, and there have been a couple of sales. Juan Miranda, our starting center back, left for Atalanta. He wanted to play Champions League football, and that's what he's going to do. Bought him in for 17 million, and going to get 34 million for him because of the installments and the money at the beginning. So I think that's a pretty good sale. Then, as well as Tahira Nakai, who was also a starter for us over the past two seasons, bought him in for 3.1 million and sold him on for 21. So nice profit on that transfer as well. And we've already brought in some replacements for them. And then also Arnau Martinez, our starting right back, sold him to Everton. He was earning a lot of money. He is a starter, but I didn't think he was going to get any better than he currently is. So just managed to sell him on and got some replacements for them in. So first things first, I bought in Pablo Maffeo, a 29-year-old Italian right back who is just an insane player on this game. Look at his physicals, mentals, and technicals. I think he's going to be our starting right back for the years to come. A 3-year deal, so not too long. So when he's 32, he could either move out or still play a couple of games. Then we've also bought in Igor Diev, you already saw, but Kadir Daklich, if I pronounce that correctly, a Turkish centre back who's a fairly professional wonder kid. Already very good, very good. Could still improve. Not sure how much though, but physically a beast. Mentally okay in the areas where you need him to be, and technically 16 marking, 15 passing, 14 tackling, and 11 heading. I want that heading to be a little bit higher, but he has 16 jumping reach and he's 197 centimeters, so I think he will be okay. And then also the replacement for Takushiro Nakai, Leandro Milito, 16 of the ball, 17 vision, 16 technique, great physicals, just an overall good player in that Mazala. And if we that was all this the signings that we made in the January transfer window. Let's now take a look at how the team is looking. So the assistant is going to choose for Franco and Pau Prim in the middle of the field, but I think Leandro Milito will play a couple of games here and there. He's just arrived, but I think he's going to be playing a lot. Maybe next to Pogrim. We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, what I will be doing is I will be simming through to the youth intake, and once again we have an excellent intake, but I don't think it's going to be as good as last season, but we can only hope. A lot of the youngsters from the other teams are being loaned out, as you can see right here. I want to loan out as many as possible so they can get a lot of playing time, and the ones that we really should pay attention to, of course, Natural Dennis is one of them, but also Javi Puso, and I think John Alibach, also one of them, that we really need to take care of and need to make sure that they develop as good as possible so that they don't really stagger in their um, development. That's why I loan them out. Anyway, in March, we're back once again with the youth intake. The youth intake. I will just run through these people a lot quicker than I do usually because there's not really a lot to show. We do have a good intake with Pedro Pozo, who has already great technicals, great mentals, and bad physicals, but he can still train it up as a 15-year-old. Expecting a lot from him, then also expecting a lot from Punzi here. 17 determination, however, he's temperamental, but 13 dribbling, 13 finishing, and 10 first touch means he will already be a very good advanced forward. Then we also have Enric Marseille, 10 determination, light-hearted, just has great potential. So I hope that he is going to be a good player in the end. But I just don't think he's going to make it with that determination. Then we have Carls, 15 determination, okay physicals, already great mentals, and technically 14 tackling and 13 technique, so not bad. Could also really become a good player for us. Then Pep Pukumal, mentally very good already, 16 technique. He's going to be an advanced forward, and as you'll see, he only needs a bit more dribbling. Unfortunately, has the fickle personality, so don't think he's going to reach his potential either. Then I haven't brought in the other guys because they are unambitious or have less than 10 determination. I just want to quickly show you these guys: 13 determination, balanced personality, 15 determination, resolute personality, Emily, very good stats already. He could be a starter if he just boosts up his physicals a lot. Fairly determined, 16 determination, so could also expect a lot from him. And then last but not least, this goalkeeper with 13 determination. And that is our youth intake. So once again, not a bad youth intake. It's not great either. We could have done a lot worse with that. So very happy with it. Hope they develop. And let's see if they will make it into our first team. I will now sim through to the end of the season. So I will see you in 5 seconds. The last part of the series now, where we look at the end of season review of our 4th season in charge. We've been greatly doing better, and let me show you, this time we've been doing excellent. The new arrivals, let's first take a look at that. So Piatek, who we brought in on a free, 40 appearances, 29 goals, which is insane for a new arrival. Igo DF, 6.999 rating, bought him in for 11 million, 44 apps. Macon, 6.97 rating, also very well. Pablo Maffeo, expected a bit more from him, 6.86. 86 is not bad, but not great either. And our two new signings, our youngsters, all doing well, above the 6.8. So I think it's we should be very okay with that. As for the transfers out, of course, we see the big transfers that have gone out, the 27 million and the 34 million that have gone out. And let's now go ahead and see where we placed. And we came in 5th. I already saw this, of course. And we were so close to those Champions League spots, as you can see. So building up our team slowly but surely is really turning out to be a good shout. We are now in the European spots, which means that what really helped us here was this road right here, these couple of games, the end of December and the beginning of January, and then at the end of the season also, we had 6 out of 5 games we won, one against Villarreal and Getafe, which aren't easy opponents to beat. So looking very good that we can, as hopefully we can establish ourselves as a kind of like an Atletico Madrid, maybe a Valencia, that were like always finishing somewhere in the top 4. That will be very nice. Then the European Conference League, we lost against the team where we lost a 1-3-0 against in the beginning. So our new coach didn't do as well against FC Luzern, but in the end, it doesn't matter. Next year, we are playing the Conference League. And this is Spanish Cup. We got knocked out by second league side, Zaragoza, which you already saw, which was very unfortunate. And the board isn't very happy about that. Let's go ahead and moments to remember the 3-8 victory over the Icelandic side Torpedo. The 4-2 match to remember was the 4-2 win over Atletico Madrid. I agree. That's very nice that we did that. Piatek with the hat trick there. And let's see, take a look at the finances. So we have 3.3 million more in sponsorships, not much more in broadcasting, and a couple more case in match day commercial and retail. And of course, we're gonna get more competition prize money, but it gets paid out later in the season usually. Our total merchandise sales from the shirts has now gone up to 1 million, so that's good. taking small steps. I think next season we will have a lot of big steps because we're playing in Europe, and that would mean that we're getting a lot more income in sponsorships and in match detail. And of course, we also played in Europe last season, but this is the Europa League this time. So let's check out how we line up. Yeah, this is what I was expecting. Kind of the right back position is something of a bottleneck for us. There's where I really want to improve. And maybe also in that center of the midfield, center of the defense. However, I do think that our two new wonderkid signings did pretty well. We just need a real good upgrade on the right back position, and I think also in midfield we could use an upgrade. Jesus Hernandez and Piatek are doing very well, but Piatek is quite old, so we're going to need to see if we can get a replacement for him already, and maybe because he's not going to be playing with us for 10 or maybe not even 5 years. Record breakers, we have gotten the most transfer fee from Alejandro Frances, 27 million, which was very nice. Some other club awards here: Player of the Season, Piatek; Signing of the Season, Piatek; Young Player of the Season, Jesus Hernandez once again; Most assists, Macon with 15. So looking pretty nice. And let's go ahead and go to our manager timeline. Now we did actually got a nomination in the NXGN, which is something of for youngsters. They get nominated in that list if they're really really good. And Leonardo Milito has been named in there, so looking very nice. Bottom in for the 8 mil, played 15 games, 1 assist. He's just a very good player and is still improving, so very nice and good to see. And that was everything that was there. I do think, yeah, that's it. So I think that was a very, very, very nice season. I just want to see 76,000 extra social media followers, which is nice. We will accept this vision, what they have. Discuss the plans for next season. It will just be. I don't want to. Can I just go? That's what I wanted to hear. That will be it for now. I just misclicked. So the camp destination will once again be the Netherlands. Wolfgang went for Pedrola. I offered some money for Pedrola. He's a right back or a wing back, and he's looking very good. 16 technique, 18 dribbling. Should also be scouting him, but I know from previous series that he's very good. Let's take a look at the finances before we leave. We have 26 million in the budget, so we can buy big, maybe, hopefully get someone really good in. Looking at debts, we have 46 million in net debt, which has gone down a lot. Our wages have stayed the same, so that's also nice. Now that we're playing in Europe, in the Europa League, we also get more money allocated to us, so that would be a big help also. And then one last thing that I wanted to show you is that if we go to our tactic right here, you see that everybody's wanted here. So there's probably going to be a lot of sales, a lot of rotation now that we have the first season in Europe, but that's just, we can't really make that go away. We need to rotate our squad, we need to grab new players in and sell the other players that want to leave or get high bids in. Anyway, that's going to be it for this season. In the next episode, I'll be back with another season, and we'll see if we can go from the fifth European spot, to maybe possibly next season a Champions League spot. As you can see in the season preview, we were expected to come in 8th. We came in 5th, so that was pretty nice to see. And also, if you go ahead and go look at the overview, you see that since we've taken over 10 places twice in a row, then 7 places, and now in the 5th place, we're having that upwards trajectory. But if you're playing as a director of football, it's sometimes a bit slower. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and in the next season, or next episode, we will take on another season as the director of football of Girona Football Club. See you there. Hi guys, and welcome back to the 5th episode of this Girona Director of Football Let's Play. I am going to show you first how we did in the league. As you can already see here, 5 games, 5 victories, started the best we've ever started, and of course first in the league. In the Europa League we have now been placed as well, and we are playing, I think this is a Bosnian side, I didn't even know that, AEKS Greece, Besiktas, Turkish side, Belgium side Anderlecht, Dutch side Groningen, and Slavia Prague. Oh, there's actually more games in the Europa League than there is in the Conference League. So also playing Union Berlin and West Ham. So very nice, 8 games where we will get a lot of income from. So that's nice to see. What you're all here for probably is the transfers, and let me just get right on there. Before we start, let me just go to the 26-27 season because here you can see a lot of players that have left later on in the season. So first things first, Igor Diev has left to Al Tawun. I mean, these are wages that we can't really pay and I don't want to pay. Bought him in for 11.5 million and just sold him on for 22.5 million with potential add-ons. So we'll make a profit of 60 million on a 27-year-old, which is fine by me. Then also what happened is Santa Fernandez got loaned out. The youngster that we brought in a couple seasons ago for 2.9 mil isn't really getting any playing time, so might as well just loan him out. Then some youngsters here as well that have been loaned out, and we've also sold Sekou Koita, who we brought in a couple seasons ago for 850k. So now sold him for 10 mil to Las Palmas, and I will show you why later on. Then also a very big sale. Jesus Hernandez, our striker, who was doing insane for us in the league, left for 42 mil. With add-ons, it could be a 54 mil deal. He's now playing in Lens, and I think Lens are playing Champions League football. So good for him. He's playing Champions League football now. They are actually not even playing Champions League football. Let me just see where they got placed last season. So Lens got placed 10th. So he's moving not even to European football, but for some reason he wanted to go there. He's earning 205k. That's just not something that we can pay, but of course they can. So that's good for him. Then also Angus Gunn left for 1 million, just trying to sell him on. Arrived on a free, didn't really play for us. And Killian Fisher, same thing. Thought he would be a good player. Our coach didn't really like him or didn't play him, so he's now left to Granada. And then I think these sales we already went through. This was already around the January transfer window, so that's not really interesting. And then we also had to bring, of course, some people in to replace them. So first things first, we brought in Fernando, a very good striker who we're going to need now that Jesus Fernandez has left. Only on 36k. Played for Red Bull Salzburg before, and before that for Shakhtar, but I think might as well just be as good, maybe a little bit better than Jesus Fernandez. So very happy that he has come in. Then we've also brought in Gabriel Carpi, who is a backup winger. I loaned him out now because I want him to get some playing time, and I don't think he was gonna get any playing time for him. So paid 7.7 million for him. Got loaned out to Mets immediately. So hoping he can really improve a lot there. Then we've also bought in Stefano Turati, a new goalkeeper, 71k, so very expensive. But I just wanted two good goalkeepers and not just have one, and if it's injured, then we're having a problem. So Turati is in for only 7.75 mil, so that's not too big of a deal. Then one of our first Wonder Kids, Olive Farver, we have bought in. I don't like the red arrows, but this guy is looking the real deal. He can play on either the left or the right side where we need him, and he already has 16 first touch, 17 dribbling, 15 acceleration with 17 pace. This guy is looking like he's going to be giving us a lot more money in the future. Bought him in for 11k from FC Copenhagen, so hoping I can sell him on, and if not, he could become a starter for us. Then we've also bought in Fabricio Lopez, who is looking insane. Just take a minute to look at this guy. This guy has like the perfect technicals already, needs to improve some of his mentals, and his physicals are alright, but this guy looks to be the next Luis Suarez. He's only on 50k a week for 5 years, already a 3.5 star potential, or hit or current ability, and potential ability is could be upwards to 5 stars. So really interesting how he will do, and he already scored 5 goals for us in 5 games. So very happy with his performance so far. Those are all the guys that came in last season. Now let's go to the next season and you will see that we've bought in a lot of people. I wasn't planning on it, but we also got sold a lot of people, and the biggest sale of them all is Alan Velasco, the Argentinian winger who we brought in at the beginning of the series for 6.5 million, left for 65 million to Saudi Arabia. The Saudi monies came for him, and we didn't say no to that. He's earning 675,000 euros right there, and we just couldn't afford that. And we're happy to take that 65 million and reinvest it into the team. Who also left is Destiny Udogi. He was playing very well for us, but a bid of 21 million and his very high loan meant that I really wanted to get him out. Sold him to Red Bull Leipzig for, I think, yeah, 21.5 million, so not that bad. Happy that he's gone. And now we can take a look at what kind of players we did bring in, and what we did bring in is going to amaze you. First things first, let's start with the lowest signing, Ruben Polido, a backup center back. Just needed one. 24k for 4 years, it's fine. We just need a backup for if everybody is injured. Then we also brought in another backup midfielder, Christoph Asklitsen. Very well rounded from Bodo Glimt. Very cheap player as well, on only 50k a week. So very happy that he has come in. Very low wages. Brought him in for 3.6 million. So very happy that he has arrived. And then our next wonder kid, Daniel Ion, a right back who can play all down the right side. He's stated as a star player because that's what he wanted. But of course, he's not playing as that. I hope that he's just going to either be a starter for us, or we can sell him on for a lot more money than that 4.1 million that we bought him from. Then another player who is a backup for us, Aaron Akale, a backup striker which we needed. As you can see, good physicals, good technicals, the Holy Trinity 14s, only bad passing, and mentally he's also alright. So really looking forward what he can do in those games that he gets some playing time. And then we go on to the bigger signings this transfer window. Stanis Pedrola, a backup or a replacement for Veloso. Of course, you can see he doesn't have the greatest of mental stats, but he does have the stats that you need as a winger. He physically a beast, technically very good, but mentally he's okay. Just hoping that he can do what Velasco did, but hopefully a little bit better or the same. I think it's just going to be the same or a little bit less, but we'll just have to wait and see. Then the big signings of this transfer window, Valentin Barco from Boca. Look at this guy. Physically, mentally, and technically a beast. Can play all along that left side, but also in the middle of the field. I think one of the best players for the future. 90k, 98k a week, very expensive contract, but this guy could be the real deal, and I think he's going to be either our left back or left winger for the years to come. Then our last signing, and this may have been a mistake, but bear with me, guys. 29.5 million for Marvin Watuwe. As you can see, a very good player, resolute personality, but look at these physicals, look at these technicals. Also a left back, 18 years old. His potential ability, which all my scouts says that it was 5 actual stars, so 4 stars and a half star. So really looking forward to what he can do. I hope he improves a lot. I hope he gets enough playing time. Right now he's got 5 games under his belt, so doing pretty well. Hope this guy improves, and if he improves, he is going to be our starting left back for the years to come. Anyway, those were all the signings. So if you take a look right now at our finances, we are 46 million in the positive. We still have 28 million in our transfer budget. I'm not going to be spending that. I'm going to be saving that up. Maybe if something else comes along that I want to buy a player. But this is how we're going to be looking. If you go ahead and pick without restrictions and pick the best team, I don't know about Liam's skills here. I think someone else is going to take that spot. But of course, what I'll be looking for in the next transfer window is probably another centre back, but for now I think Liam Skills can do what he does well and just fill in that gap. Anyway, that's going to be it for now. I will be back to you in the January transfer window, show you how we've done in our first season in the Europa League and in the Spanish division. I will show you the transfer that we're making, show you the youth intake, and of course later on I will show you how we ended the season. If you're curious about how you can set up your save as a director of football, go click the link in the description below, and also you will find a link there how I make all my signings based on data. Anyway, I will see you in a couple of seconds. The January transfer window has arrived, and before I show you anything else of how we did, I wanted to show you two signings we made. We have made a signing of Aaron from Atletico B, a very nice youngster with a perfectionist trait, 2 stars, but could still improve a lot. Great physicals, great well-rounded mentals, and just everything you need for him to play as a ball-playing defender. And then also Vladimir Rikar, who is a Slovakian centre back, very good, just a solid all-out centre back, very professional, 3 stars, great physicals, 18 bravery, which is always good on a ball-playing defender or just any defender, and for that matter, 14 marking, 14 heading, and 13 tackling, only 18 years old. So these guys are really for the future. I hope they develop. And 8 million for each of them, around 8 million, is a bargain. I will sim through to the end of the January transfer window, show you if we made any other signings. If so, I will show them to you. But before that, I will show you how we did. So as you can see, we started off the season pretty well, but then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses, I think in 8 games, so that wasn't too good. But we then recuperated with wins on Granada and Zaragoza, and we also did pretty well in our first European League games. As you can see, the Europa League, we finished third, 5 wins, 1 draw, which is very nice, which means that we're automatically through to the round of 16, which is very nice. In the Spanish division, we're in 8th spot, which is a bit lower than I expected, but then again, if we win one more game, then we're suddenly in 6th, so we shouldn't be too worried yet. And of course, there's a lot of good teams in that Spanish division. I will be simming forward to the end of January. I want to ask you one thing. If you're still watching this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel if you want to keep updated with all the content. I really work hard for it, but I want to see if you have any recommendations, leave them down in the comments, and thank you very much. So just give me like 5-6 seconds, and I'll be back with the end of the January transfer window. We have arrived at the end of the January transfer window, but before we look into the transfers, let me show you how we did. We won 1, 2, 3 games in the league, and we tied one against Real Madrid 2-2, very impressive. Scored 2 goals in the last minutes of the game, and also 2 victories in the cup, and then a draw and a loss in the Europa League, which means that we're still through to the round of 16 and seeded as a 7th seeded team, so that's very nice. And also in the Spanish division, we're currently 5th, but it's very close as you can see. Losing 2 games will mean you're in 10th, and winning 2 games means you're in 4th, so we have a lot more to lose. So let's just see and hope that we can keep this run going. Then let's jump into the transfer that we did. I did very reactive business, so when I sold someone, I bought someone in his place. We have 116 million wage budget and 23 million transfer budget still left, but we're not spending all of that. Maybe if a good transfer comes on in the later on in the year, but I don't think so. So let's first take a look at the sales. So we sold 2 persons in this transfer window. We did sell Jan Macon to Al Ain. I'm not very sad about seeing him go. He did play pretty well for us this season. He was a starter. However, when a club like that offers that much money, we just want to let him go. We bought him in for 10.75 and he could potentially give us 27 million, so very nice for a 27-year-old. And also Alvaro Fernandez, our starting goalkeeper for 3 seasons when he arrived on a free, and then we got someone else in, so he didn't really play a lot anymore. So sold him on also to Saudi Arabia for 14.25 because of course last season you saw that we brought in Turati as a replacement for him. Then I spent the cash on 3 signings here, and let me tell you, these are 2 very interesting youngsters. First of all, Maxim Ivanov, the Ukrainian attacking midfielder who we're retraining on the right side, so he can play there, or we could replay him to play in the center as an advanced forward. Anyway, he cost us a lot of money, 23 million, but I think this guy's the real deal. Already a 3.5 stars, could potentially become a 4.5 star, 14 determination, 18 technique, 16 first touch. If he doesn't improve anymore, he's already a very, very, very good player for our team. So anyway, that 23 million will get the money's worth out of him for sure. Also already 9 caps for Ukraine, which is very nice. Then the next wonder kid is Marius Bayens. A little bit worse, I think, than the Ukrainian that we got in, but this guy has a driven personality with 18 determination, great physicals, and great technicals already for that ringer spot, that right or the right back spot. Bought him in for only 8.7k, so I think that's an absolute steal for a guy that if he improves, he's going to be worth a lot of money, and if he doesn't improve, he's still a good backup for us. So 8 million, very much worth the deal, in my opinion. And then also I brought in Diego Altuve because of course Alvaro Fernandez he left. He was a backup goalkeeper, so we need a new backup goalkeeper for 2.9 million. I brought this guy in on a 6.25k wage, so only 6k a week. That's like nothing for us. So very nice that he's in. Looking very good with 16 kicking, 16 one-on-ones, and of course very important, he doesn't do anything weird with the ball with eccentricity on 3. So looking to be a very good goalkeeper. That's all the business that I did in this transfer season. I will come back to you when we've got the youth intake, and after that, of course, if the season has ended. The youth intake is upon us, and this year not as good as a youth intake than last 2 years, but still pretty okay. The two elite talents are Antonio Almeida, who's a goalkeeper with 12 determination and already 16 rushing out tendency. Looking pretty good. If he can develop, he will be, I think, a rotation or maybe a squad player for us. I'm not sure. I'll just hope that he has high potential enough so that he can fulfill that potential as well. Then we have Felipe Ortega, 12 determination, pretty okay mentals already, pretty okay physicals as well, but just needs to improve a lot if he wants to become a starter. Then Lusao, which I brought in because of his 14 determination, but not really expecting a lot from him. Genar, I also brought in because of his 19 determination, so a very good player as well. Emir Ben Am, I brought in because 16 determination, and these guys all had either low determination or a bad personality, except for this guy, 16 determination, fairly determined, and I can just click a random one and you'll understand why I didn't sign him. Fickle personality, good stats, but low potential ability, so didn't sign him. So that's our youth intake for the season 27-28. The good old trusted end of season review as the last part of this video. Let's go ahead and click on the new arrivals. As you already saw, we did bring some nice little players in. Valentin Barco, I think is the signing of the season for me. 26.5 million, but this guy, 11 goals, 13 assists. Just a great, great signing. Also, not to forget, Fabricio Lopez, 23 goals, 8 assists. May also be signing of the season, but those two, they really helped us finish where we are. And where we finished, let me show you. We finished in 7th. So the last couple of games of the season, we did manage to, we didn't really manage to get any wins. As you can see here, we did beat Real Madrid here, and this run of form here is very poor. Like we lose against Mallorca, Sevilla, Atletico, and Atletico Madrid and Atletico Bilbao, and then we win against Barcelona and Madrid. It's just very weird. But anyway, this end of the season run kind of killed us here, so that meant that we're now in 7th. The Europa League, we got knocked out by Wolfsburg in the round of 16. A very poor result there as well. And in the Spanish Spanish Cup, we got knocked out in the quarterfinals by Barcelona. Of course, 7th position isn't bad, but I was just hoping on something a little bit better, like maybe 4th or 5th or 6th, but we're going to have to do it with 7th. If you can see here, if we just win one more game, we're at 66 points and we play Champions League, so I would say we're pretty close, but I mean, if we lose one more game, we're also in 10th, so or in 9th. It's kind of very weird. There's a lot of top teams in Spain right now, so we're just going to need to do a little bit better. Anyway, still moments to remember: the 2-2 the match to remember against Madrid, and 7-1 biggest run. That's not very important. Sponsorship: we got a lot of more broadcast revenue because last season we finished very high. Competition money we got about a bit more because we played in the Europa League, and of course 1.4 million on shirt sales. Then the accolades, as you can see, no one really performed this season, and the right back position and the left back position are really things that we need to improve if we want to do also play with the big guns. So that's something that we need to really change if we want to do a lot better next season. But anyway, that's not something that we can do anything about. We're just going to have to try to find some people who can play in that position very well. We're doing a pretty good job because we're bringing in a lot of youngsters. Anyway, record breakers. Malvin Watua is our highest transfer ever paid by a player. He played 30 games, 6.79. He should, if you look at form, you can see where our manager plays him. So he should be the wingback on the left for our starting years to come. But I think he's not included in this because, oh, he is, but he just scored a 6.8. So maybe he will improve still a lot. We're just gonna have to see. Barcelona crowned champions again. I think that's the fifth. Yeah, that's the fifth one in a row. So they are doing pretty well, but the Real Madrid's coming a little bit closer. So yeah, this end of run of form was very poor, but unfortunately we couldn't really do anything about it. What I might consider doing is loading a tactic from the database and using that as my tactic, so we get a lot better tactic wise, and our system just uses the tactic that he wants. So for example, we have our staff right here, and we have this guy as our see, our assistant manager is, I think, this guy, Brian Klug. So his preferred position is a 4-4-2. So we just take a tactic that we know is good and we give it to him, and then we let him play that 4-4-2. But we just only give the tactic for him, and he can assign all the players that he wants. I think that's what we're doing because currently, if we just let this guy play, then he's not going to be very good. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this episode. If you did like it, please like and subscribe, help me out a ton. And in the next episode, we jump into the 28-29 season, and after that, there's another season, and then I think we're gonna have to see what we do with the series. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one. In this episode, we're making a real run for the Champions League spot. We're also competing in the Spanish Cup, in which we're doing marvelous, but is it enough for us to clinch that title? And we're also playing in the Conference League. We're reaching very far in the latter stages, but are we gonna have enough to get our first piece of silverware in this episode? Go ahead and watch the rest of the episode to find out. So, guys, let's get on with it then. This season, we are predicted to come in sixth, and sixth is actually pretty good. We are expecting, me myself, I'm expecting to come in the fourth position because I think sixth is a little bit low. Let me show you how we started the season. We started it pretty well. We have won 5 games and draw one, and we've drawn against Barcelona, so not too bad, I would say. Here you can see all the games that we already played. We did have to play in the Europa Conference League qualifying parts, but we won that quite easily. The victories aren't extravagant, like they're not big, but they're okay. We have a 3-1, 3-1, 3-2, 0-1, and 2-1. And a tie against Barcelona, which is not bad. I'm really looking forward to what we can do in the UEFA Conference League. We did draw some weaker teams. We drew 2 teams from Cyprus, Union Berlin, who are the toughest one, I think, and Victoria Pilsen. So not too bad. So that's how we got on with the season. Let me show you what kind of transfers we made. We have to start in in the last season where we already signed some players. Ali Kadim, I had him on my radar for a long time already. 18-year-old Swedish winger who's very good, great physicals, 20 determination. You love to see it. And I've bought him for 5 million and then loaned him straight out again to Malmo. And then next season he's going to be joining us. But I think if he joins us, he's a immediate starter for us. So let's see how he develops there. Then Mark Casado, just a backup guy, 12.5k. He's not very good, he's just very versatile, so just got him on a free. Great mentals, of course, and he's just a ball winning midfielder if we don't have anyone else left. Then Serhij Milinkovic or Olinik. He is an Ukrainian right back. We bought him as well and loaned him straight back out. So next season he'll come in and he's probably going to be our starting right back or maybe even a centre back with his 17 first touch. He could be a great ball playing defender as well. So we'll just see how he develops and what he comes in as. Then we have Rashid Slimani, who is our record signing. And if you look at this guy, you might not think, does he really have it? But this guy has a driven personality. When I signed him, he had 4.5 star potential. And look at these mentals already: 16 teamwork, 12 anticipation, 12 composure. Very well rounded. And I just hope he can do whatever he does best. He already played 6 games for us and has a 7.2 average rating. So I'm really happy with that signing. And then on the other side, we also had some sales. Of course, we did let go of a couple of players. First of all, Sana Fernandez, a very noteworthy player, was very good. We didn't really play him a lot. I don't understand why. Bought him in for 2.9 and now sold him on for 9 million, so not too bad business there. Then Pablo Maffeo, brought him in for 11 million. He played 2 seasons for us, didn't really impress, so sold him on for 12 million. A little profit there, and unfortunately didn't really come anything of it. And then 2 big sales. Franco has left. We brought him in for 2.5, sold him for 9.2. He played a lot for us, but he just wasn't good enough anymore. And Fernando, the Brazilian striker, who we bought on a free, but we sold him on for 20 million to Qatar because he wasn't performing like I expected to, and I of course already signed Slimani in his place. So that were all the sales that we did last season. Now this season we also did a lot more sales and we bought a lot more players. The sales aren't that noteworthy. We just sold a couple of backup players. Patrick Dorgu, who we bought for 8 million, didn't really play a lot or get a lot of playing time, so we sold him on to Saudi Arabia for 7 mil. Piatek, who we brought in on a free, sold to Fenerbahce for 3.5 million. He didn't really get to play a lot this season because we of course now have 2 wonder kids in that attack. Then David Sima, who we brought in at one of the first players, 1.4 million, sold him for 1.3, so made a little bit of a loss, but he didn't really get any playing chance anymore. And Ruben Polido, same thing, bought him in for 2.9, was a backup, loaned him out, then sold to Ameria. And that's actually everyone that left. Also Gonzalo Maroni, who we brought in at the beginning of the save for free. He didn't never really played for us, but he's going to be sold after his loan. So they have a option to buy him. And then let me show you this wonder kid galore. Let me start with Franco Albonos, the guy I brought in first. Bought him in, loaned him out immediately. Great technicals, mentals where you need them, and physically a beast. So loan him out now to Real San Sebastian. Hopefully we'll have a spot for him because he's a non-European player next season, but we'll see about that. Then a free wonder kid that I brought in. This guy is fairly determined, has great physicals, 17 determination, which I like. A good player, so I just bought him in and put him in my 19s and hope he develops. Then Daniel Sebotari, 15.5 million, and look at this guy, mentally insane, physically okay, driven personality, technically already a beast, so I hope that this guy will really help us get to the next level as well. Then 19.5 million for Marvin Koulibaly. Bought him in, loan him out again. This guy needs some playing time, and he didn't really match what my my manager was looking for, so I just loaned him out so he would get the playing time that he needs. And then we have Quentin Merlin, who we brought in as a backup. 3.7 million, not too bad. He's a good backup for us to have. Alvaro Odriozola, some of them might know him from his time at Real Madrid and Barcelona. Just a backup to have in our team. He's playing a lot of games for some reason, but I don't want him to play because he's trash. Then also Axel Tuan Zebe, the youngster who was playing a lot for Manchester City or Manchester United back in the day, and then he really didn't really break through. He went to Ipswich and then got released on a free, so we picked him up as a backup to have whenever our youngsters come play. And then last but not least, Alexander Radovic. Look at this guy, mentally insane, physically alright, well rounded, and technically also very, very good. He could be a very good advance forward for us if we just retrain him into that position. Only 7 mil for this guy. Really have high hopes for this guy. Really looking forward to how he can develop. And then if I go to my team and I do my pick best 11, you see we have 2 wonder kids here. The Turkish wonder kid and Vladimir Ureka, the Slovakian wonderkid, then Maxim Ivanov, the Ukrainian, right here. Leonard Minitro, our other wonderkid, 20 years old. Sabotari, 19 years old. Ole Favre, 19 years old. Fabricio Lopez, 20 years old. And Richard Slimani, 20 years old. So a very, very young team. And on the bench we also have Watau, 19 years old. Pau Trim, 22 years old. Akale, 23 years old. Merlin, 26 years old. So we have a very, 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 very young team. And a lot of youngsters also loaned out so they can get some playing time. So this team is a team that's going to do it. I will be back to you when I reach the January transfer window and I will show you what kind of transfers we made there. If we don't make any transfers, then I will just skip through to the youth intake. The youth intake is upon us and it's not that good this year. Yalda Diaz is our best rated prospect who is already a decent goalkeeper, could still improve a lot. 4.5 stars potential, so looking forward to what he can bring. Then the other players that I got in are basically just players that are fairly determined, good personality and good determination, like this guy, like Paul Sardalik, and like Antonio Sol. Very good mentals, 17 natural fitness. Could maybe be a backup, but not sure. We'll see what he turns out to be. And then I wanted to show you something very special where we're standing right now. So we are sixth in the league with Girona on 60 points. And once again, if we lose one, we're in eighth. And if we win one, we could be in the Champions League spot. So really hoping that we can do that. We're also in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Conference League against Deal, so gonna be a tough game there. And actually, a team I don't know from Hungary, Debrecen, they've also made it in after beating some Lech and OB. So that's pretty interesting for them. And then the Spanish Cup. We are the winners of the Spanish Cup after beating Villarreal on penalties in the final. And this was a crazy cup game for us because we won here the first round 5-3, then 6-1, then 4-2 against Atletico. So we beat Atletico. Then we also in the quarters beat Atletico Madrid. Then in the semifinals we got through on penalties against Almeria, and then we won on penalties against Villarreal. So our first silverware is upon us. We have gotten the Spanish Cup, which is great for us. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be simming through the end of the season and I'm going to show you if we made the final and if we possibly won the final and if we're going to be playing Champions League next season. Anyway, I will see you in a blip. So guys, the 28th-29th season has finally finished. And let me tell you, we've done some incredible things. At the end of the season, I really needed a Champions League spot, so I decided to fire my current manager for 1.5 million and hired another one who's better, one who has better stats and everything, and he gave us what we wanted. Let's first take a look at the new arrivals. Of course, we paid a lot of money this transfer season, but it was definitely worth it. Slimani, the one kid that came in for 45 million, has 23 goals, and the Dani Sebutari, 28 appearances, 4 goals, 9 assists, also very well. And as you can see, all of the signings we made had a average rating of 6.7 and higher, which is great to see. Really loving that. Also, Alexander Radenkovic, 8 goals, 6 assists, 23 games and 23 as a substitute, which is okay. This guy is 20 years old, he can still improve a lot. So very happy with the transfers. And let's now jump into the most important thing of this episode, the season's result. We've come in fourth, so we're playing Champions League next season. Let's get in there. I will show you what happened after, I think, the match against Real Espanyol. I hired a new manager and he went on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game win streak. Like very close wins, don't get me wrong, but still 6 very important wins, including a 1-0 victory over Real Madrid at home. And look at this end of the season run. This really made sure that we got that fourth position and playing Champions League. So very happy with that. Also, you already saw that we won the Spanish Cup against Villarreal. And let me show you something else. We've actually won the Conference League as well. We've gone on to tie Lille, then win 0-1 at away from at home at them, and then we beat Roma in a 3-2 thriller where we just got the better of them. Lopez scoring, Milito scoring, and Slimani scoring. We have a new manager now, and he's playing a different system. He's playing a 4-3-3, so we're going to need to buy players for that tactic. But look at this, guys. Like, it's absolutely insane what he did with the team. Um, Beat Roma, they had a lot more chances, but we still won. Very happy with that. Very, very, very happy with that. Looking forward to next season, where should be playing um, Conference League and we won the cup. So I think maybe even Sevilla is playing European because we have gotten the Conference League. I don't know how that works. Maybe Roma gets it then. I think it maybe goes to the league. Um, so very, very, very happy with those results. Our biggest win is a 7-0 victory over Victoria Pilsen, and of course the 1-3 victory away at Real Madrid is one to remember. Then let's go to the finances. Of course, we're going to be playing Champions League money to the next season, so the money is going to rise a lot. We got a lot more competition prize money because we got so far in Conference League, and also because we've been playing in Europe for a couple of seasons, so you get more money the years that you've played in it. We've got more sponsorships, but let me tell you, next season is gonna be the jackpot. Champions League money is already like 30 million that we get standard as competition prize money, so really looking forward what we can do there. Then how we lined up. I think I have a really good balance in the team now. Like as you can see, this is how we lined up. And of course, next season we're going to be playing a 4-3-3 because we have a different manager. But as you can see, we do need some backup in the defense. I think in the midfield and in the attack we're good. We have two great wonder kids here. We have good midfielders, but we still need some backups in the defense department. So I think that's the most important thing that I'm going to be looking for in this transfer window is going to be the defense. As you can see, the accolades, most goals by player in the season. I think Fabricio is because he scored that many goals in the cup. I think this is also in a league match. Oh no, this is in a match. So scored 4 goals in one match. Most assists by a player in the season, 18 assists for Valentin Barco, who is wanted right now by Real Madrid, Liverpool, and Newcastle. Oh. Tottenham not wanted, but look how good this guy is. He doesn't want to sign a new deal, but I really want to keep him here. So if we could keep him here, that would be great. And most player of the match awards as well for Valentin Barco. Then history in the making. Of course, you can see the manager timeline. We have got the Spanish Cup and the Conference League, so 2 silverwares in the club. Very nice. Let's finish up and see what else we have here. I think we also have the supporters profile here. 1.1 million social media followers, so we're finally starting to grow. And our season ticket waiting list is also growing. 20k supporters now, 3.3 million followers, which means we're really growing. Let's accept this current vision, and the board kind of expects us to be the best of the rest and try to qualify every time for the Champions League. So that's going to be a very hard ask, but we're going to try to do that. Anyway, let me also show you the finances because I did offer a lot of new contracts to players. So as you can see, the wages are rising, but now that we're playing Champions League, it might not be that bad. As a projection, we're starting to we're looking to lose money, but we're in debt for 76 million. But once we get the Champions League money in, which is 30 million, and we get the prize money in for the Spanish League, we're gonna have a lot of money to spend. And we've actually got a transfer budget of 28 million. So looking to see maybe I can sell someone on for a profit. I don't think I'm going to make a lot of transfers because I don't really want to sell a lot of players because the team that I have now is good and the rotations are good, but we're just gonna see. Before I end the video, I want to ask you please leave a like and subscribe down below if you want to see more. I know a lot of you aren't subscribed and subscribing helps me out a ton. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and see you in the next one. Hey guys, in this episode you're going to see it all. We are trying to make another run for those Champions League spots in La Liga with our new manager. We're also trying to regain the Spanish Cup again after winning it last season, so let's see if we can do it back to back. And we're also having our first ever season in the Champions League. Can we make it to the semi-finals or maybe even the final, or are we gonna get knocked out in the knockout stages? Anyway, go ahead and watch the video to find out. We have made a lot of signings and a lot of wonder kids managed to join us. We did sell some players that wanted to leave, or it was just a bid that we had to accept. So I will walk you through it. We will go ahead and look at the incoming transfers and the outgoing transfers of this season at Girona. So when it comes to transfers out, a lot more peace and quiet. Of course, we did gain a lot of money last season from all the transfers that we made, and we also sold Stefano Turati to Liverpool. He wanted to leave, and of course Liverpool have a lot of pulling power, so 46 million they had to pay with some add-ons, could be 53. And then I loaned out a ton of players which we're all getting loan fees from, but they're also paying the wages. If you look at these players, it's all just wonder kids that I loaned out to different clubs. I will just scroll through them. You see a lot of them who we just bought. Also this guy, a very promising goalkeeper, went on loan to Real Madrid to be their first choice goalkeeper. So really looking forward to if he actually is that. And other loans as well, but not really anything noteworthy there. And then I told you, the Belgian wonder kids. I have 3 players here from Belgian clubs, and it's quite a lot of money. 27 million first for Sam Smit, Luxemburger, wonder kid. Hopefully can get some playing time this season, otherwise I'm gonna have to loan him out next season. Just insane mentals, good physicals, good technicals, has a lot of potential, so I'm hoping he can improve a lot. Then Nordile Benaldi, fairly professional striker, also Belgian. We loaned him out immediately to Zaragoza. This guy, insane mentals, great technicals, and the holy trinity of dribbling, finishing, and first touch, all above 13 with 16 technique and great physicals. So hoping this guy turns out to be great for us. Then William Trane, a Danish right winger, bought him also from Anderlecht, so another Belgian club. Mentally not as good, physically insane, technically has everything that you need from a winger or an inside forward. Could also play as an advanced forward with his 16 finishing, but we'll have to see where our manager plays him. Great potential ability, so this guy is going to be worth it all the way. Then I just showed you the goalkeeper that we brought in, 20-year-old Javier Osmas Reinaldos. He's currently out on loan on Real Madrid. This guy is driven, 20 determination, has all the right stats already. I think this guy is going to be an insane goalkeeper when he is when he's a little bit older, because we loan him out. Since we also brought in Bart Verbrugge, who is a Dutch goalkeeper, just a straight up replacement for Turati, because we didn't really need to go worse than Turati, so I just bought a one-on-one copy almost. Verbrugge is very good player, was playing for Ajax, paid 29 million for him. They actually made a little loss on him, and he is performing pretty okay, I want to say. Yeah, I don't think he's doing too bad. 7.47, so very interesting signing, very happy with him. Overall, we don't really have a lot of budget left, only 8 million left and 200k in the wage budget. But before I sim through to January transfer window, let me just quickly show you where we currently stand. So this is how we did in the first couple of games of this season. As you can see, played pretty poorly in the friendlies, but after that a 0-1 win in our last friendly, which meant we could turn it around, and a 2-2 draw in the Bernabeu is actually not that bad. Then a 2-0 win over Tenerife and a 2-0 win over Villarreal. Also between that a tie against Espanyol, which is a bit of a shame. But now we're also playing Champions League, and as you can see, Genk, AZ, FC Porto, Arsenal, Leipzig, Bologna, Real Madrid, Olympique Marseille and Liverpool. And it should be doable. Skip that. Real Madrid is not. We're not playing them. They just have. That's the Super Cup semi-final. Apparently, we're playing in that probably because we won the Bocal, or I don't think it's called Bocal. It's the Spanish Cup last season. So that makes it that we're currently in 4th. Very nice, but a lot of teams still have to play. And this is how the Champions League is looking. So we're very, very curious how we can perform in the Champions League. But we're just going to have to see, sim through, and hopefully make it through. Probably not. We're probably not going to finish at the first 8, but anywhere between 9th and 24th should be doable. Before we continue with the video, I want to ask if you could leave a like on the video if you're enjoying yourself. It really helps me out a ton. And subscribe down below if you want to see more. Also comment down below what you think we could do better or what you want to see in other episodes. Without any further ado, let's continue with the video. Last episode, you saw that we made a managerial change. We hired another assistant manager in the name of Joaquim Merniano, and this guy is going to be taking over. Why did we hire him? We hired him because he had better stats and a better preferred formation. But there's also one other thing that I'm going to be changing in this series, and that is the tactic. So previously in this series, I let my manager make the tactic and make the players, and I'm not going to do that anymore because we don't make enough progression that way. One part of Football Manager is that you need a good tactic to beat the AI, and it's just not going fast enough in my opinion. It could go a lot better if we just had a good tactic that we can work with. So I searched the FM Scout website and I looked for a tactic that fit our coach, and a tactic that fit our coach was a 4-2-3-1, which is almost the same as his preferred formations. So now whenever we or I sim through to January or through any other days, I go ahead and click on Go on for Holiday and I click Use Current Match Tactics. This means that our guy, our manager, is going to be leading the way, but with the tactic we select for him. This way I hope to gain a lot more progress in the series, and I hope to really achieve something, because we've been playing for 6 seasons now and we've only reached the Champions League for the first time. So it's going a bit slow, so I'm just trying to spice it up. Hopefully this works or it does anything. If this doesn't work, I'm just going to remove it again. I just want to try if it works. Anyway, that's all for now. I will see you again when the January transfer window opens and when we make another signing. It is the 3rd of January 2030, which means that the January transfer window has officially started. As you can see, this is how we did between now and the last time you saw it. We did play very well in Champions League, beating Genk, tying Arsenal, beating Red Bull Leipzig and Bologna, but losing against AZ and FC Porto. Also in the league, you see we're doing pretty well. An odd tie here and there, but also nice victories, 6-1 over Getafe and 3-1 over Atletico, which is very nice to see. But how are we standing in the competition then? In the competitions, it's looking like this. We are in 3rd in La Liga and we are currently in 11th in the Champions League, which is pretty good. In the Spanish Cup, we haven't really entered yet. We entered the 3rd round on 19th of January, but before that we still first play for the Spanish Super Cup against Real Madrid, and in that Super Cup are Villarreal, Barcelona, Girona and Real Madrid, and the reason that we are in it is because we won the Spanish Cup last season, which makes you automatically qualify for the Super Cup. With that out of the way now, we are going to try to sell on some debt with players, maybe bring in some talented youngsters, but with 8 million we can't do that, so I am going to try to sell some of the players which we are barely playing, and then see if we can get some other players in who can also fill in those gaps. Anyway, I will be back to you once the January transfer window has ended, and I will show you what kind of transfers we made. So guys, the January transfer window has been concluded, and this is how we did. Atletico we beat, then we lost against Mallorca for some reason, lost in the Super Cup semi-final, which was expected, then won in the Spanish Cup 3rd round, won against Tenerife and against Olympique Marseille, and also lost against Real Madrid and Liverpool, which is totally acceptable, and that means that we're currently in 5th, although it's very close from 3rd to 6th on, so we should be able to finish anywhere in those Champions League spots. We also did some transfers, and let's go ahead and jump to that now. So I won't be boring you with all the transfers that we made, but a few things to notice is that we sold on some rotational players. So Axel Tuanzebe has left for 1.5 million, then 2 loans of 2 youngsters. Quentin Merlin also left for 22 million to Atletico, and Askilden, the Norwegian midfielder, wasn't getting enough player time, so left to Saudi Arabia for 11.2. Then Mark Casado, who we got on a free, also left to Valencia for 3.2 mil, and a lot of other youngsters have been loaned out. And let's see who we brought in return. So we needed a lot more rotational players, and I wanted to loan out the youngsters that didn't really get a chance in the first team. So we brought in Yasin Ayari, just a well-rounded backup. Then the same goes for Samuel Mulatri, also a well-rounded backup. Rasmus Christensen, also a well-rounded backup, and as you can see, these players are already fairly old, which means they're perfect to just be rotational players for us. Lucas Toussaint and Igor Zubeldia, they've all joined in, and as you can see, the fees are very low, so if they don't work out, we can just sell them on with just a small margin of loss, and I'm glad that I've moved on 2 of my backup players because they didn't really have a chance anymore. Then also, let's take a look at the players coming in. I have 4 players coming in actually. Clemence Ridel is joining, didn't really scout him, but this guy was already looking very good, so just wanted to get him in. Then also Mats Wiever coming in, very well rounded player, also coming in on a free. Then Mark Rocha, same thing, just needed some backup squad depth, so bringing this guy in to fulfill that position. And Salah Ulat Mahant, also a backup, and as you can see, he already had good stats to just be a backup. I didn't really care if I already scouted them, the yes or the no. I just wanted them to come in so I could potentially have some backups for my young squad. And lastly, in this part, I wanted to show you how the team is lining up. So this is how the team is lining up. Igor Zulbeldia is playing in the midfield, but I don't think this guy should be playing. Hopefully our manager will decide that he's not going to play a lot. Then also Bart Verbruggen is playing, but other than that, it's all wonder kids. So very nice to see that all of our younger kids are getting a place in this team, which is very nice. Hopefully we can pull through. And as you can see, Ivanov, Slimani and Lopez are the biggest goal scorers with 17, 14 and 15. So really looking forward to see what more those guys can bring. Anyway, I will sim forward to the youth intake. And the youth intake for this season will be, I want to say, pretty good. In the depth center, of course, the youth intake, a good goalkeeper and a good striker. We'll just have to wait and see if there are actually some decent talent that we can use in our teams. Anyway, I will be back once the youth intake is upon us. The youth intake is here, and let me show you what kind of youngsters we got. First things first, Jen Mullins. Pretty okay goalkeeper. Just hoping he will accept 4.5 star potential, so could be a backup. I don't think he's going to ever play for us, but as a backup might be possible. Then also another goalkeeper, Edin Shilafi. Yeah, an ambitious goalkeeper, not really gonna sign him. But then Isidri Exposito was also pretty good, 19 determination, looking for what this guy can do, and if he reaches potential could be a starter. I mean a backup for us, not a starter. Anyway, that's how the youngsters are looking. Not really good talent, so just a bang average players, not really anything worth showing. Then let me show you how we've been getting on. We did win in our first Champions League knockout games, but then we lost in the round of 16 against Newcastle 5-1. We lost at away and we drew 0-0. Then Villarreal we beat over 2 legs, and before that we actually beat Real Madrid in the Spanish Cup, and it's looking awfully green here, so that means we're doing good in the competition, and we are. In the La Liga, Spanish First Division, we are currently in 4th with 2 games to play, so in 2 games if we win them we could go past Las Palmas and we could secure, hopefully, that Champions League spot once again. And in the Spanish Cup we're actually drawn against Barcelona in the final, so we're playing then the 20th and the 24th, so really looking forward what we can do. Didn't make any more transfers, I'm just gonna sim through to the end of the season and I will show you how we ended the season, and if we can retain those Champions League spots, that would be great. Anyway, before I jump to the next shot, please do leave a like if you're enjoying the content, and subscribe down below if you want to see more, and let's jump to the end of the season. the end of the 29-30 season is upon us. We're jumping straight into the end of season review, and as you can see here, we've won a cup. And yes, it is. We did win the Spanish Cup again. Let me show you how we did that. But before, let's jump into the new arrivals. As you could see, we had a lot of new arrivals this season. We brought in a lot of players and a lot of wonder kids with some experienced players, some rotational players, and some of them played a lot. What I'm most happy about is that Bart Verbrugge played very well. So did Dorian André, Sam Smith, who came in as our starting wonder kids, and also actually Igor Zubeldia. He played 26 games for us. Very nice for that. Can't pronounce that guy's name though. And this guy, actually, our goalkeeper, is really improving a lot. Really happy to see. I think he could be a starter this or next season, maybe if Bart Verbrugge leaves, but we'll see about that. Then let's jump into the season's results. And as you can see, third in La Liga. And look at this end of the season run. We tied Barcelona, tied Villarreal, and tied Valencia. But other than that, we won all of our games, which is very impressive to see, which makes us finish third, only 4 points off of Barcelona in second, and like 15 points ahead of Atletico. So at in the middle of the season, it was still very close, but in the end we really pulled through, which is good to see. Then you already saw that we did get knocked out in the Champions League, but round of 16 is always nice, and the board are pleased with us. And the Spanish Cup, we did manage to beat Real Madrid, and then Villarreal, and then Barcelona. 3-0 we beat them in the Spanish Cup final, and we were the better team, but we're also very lucky with our goals. In 10 minutes, or what is this, in 4 minutes we scored 3 times, and then we just played out the game. So very nice to see that our team is actually starting to get good enough to beat Real Madrid and Barcelona sometimes. And of course in the Super Cup we did get knocked out by Real Madrid. So moments to remember. Why is the win against Barcelona not in here? Very strange. But anyway, the match to remember apparently is against Atletico. And the biggest win was a 6-0 win over Getafe. And then let's take a look at our finances. We didn't get our broadcast revenue in for this season, but once we get it in third place, you get like, I think, about 100 million. Of course, more competition prize money this year because we were playing in the Champions League, and we're selling a lot more sales. Shirts. What I'm looking forward to is, now that we're playing Champions League football and we only have a stadium of 10,000 people, maybe we can start building a new stadium so we can house more people, because 10,000 just isn't enough if you're playing Champions League. And this is how we lined up. As you can see, again, the defense is kind of, it's okay, it just could be a little bit better. And in the attack, Ivanov, it's just a star player for us. I really hope this guy never leaves. Insane technicals, insane mentals, and insane physicals means this guy is one of the best already in his position. And then the accolades. I don't really look at the player rewards. I usually only really look at the record breaker. So Watuao, our right back, has 20 assists this season, from which 13 in the league, which is insane. Bart Verbrugge most clean sheets with 21, and worst discipline, Bayerns with 13 yellow cards. Could do better, but it's not too bad. Then history in the making, of course, our 3-0 victory over Barcelona, winning the Spanish Cup, which is very nice. And let's finish that off. And then also let's take a look. What I always find very interesting to see is this. Our social media follower count is 1.8 million more. The season ticket waiting list is 23,000. So it should be worth for us to build a new stadium with more places. But the board really needs to make sure that we have enough money for that as well. Plans for next season, I am not going to make any, so that's all fine. And then that is all for how we did at the end of the season. So what are the plans for next season? Next season I want to again finish in the Champions League spots and maybe make a far run for it, for the title of the La Liga. I'm not sure if we are able to do it. We did get 30 million to spend. I don't think that's going to be enough to make us a title winning team, but we'll just have to wait and see. Then in the UEFA Champions League, I'm going to also try to make a run for it to reach further than the round of 16. And I'm trying to retain, of course, the Spanish Cup again, although I think that's going to be very hard. What I will be doing is I'll be seeing if I can sell some deadwood players off, So some players that we don't really use in our team, and see which players I need to loan out again and need to get rid of. As you can see, we have a pretty big squad, so maybe players that we don't really play or I don't think have the potential to keep playing in our squad, I'm going to sell. And I will be back to you in the next episode, and then you will see all of the new transfers that we made, how we did in the new season, and what we're trying to do for the next season. For now, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and as I said before, next episode, start of the 30-31 season, where we're going to try to claim that La Liga title for ourselves. Once again, thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed, and bye bye. Hey guys, and welcome to this 9th episode of Girona's Director of Football Save. This episode we have our biggest sale ever. 194 million we're selling a wonder kid for. Go ahead and watch the rest of the video to find out which wonder kid it was and how we managed to buy him and sell him for such great profit. We also make a huge signing, the biggest signing in our history, for this English random wonder kid. So without any further ado, go ahead and check the video to find out how we did that insane transfer business. Let's start off by showing you how we did in the first 4 games of the 2020-2031 season. We've won all of our games. Pretty comfortable wins, all of them I would say, but our real first challenge is going to be Atletico Madrid, which is coming up next. Winning the first 4 games means that we're now top of the league, and that's where we want to end. Even Barcelona already dropped points, and I think Real Madrid aren't even in here. They're here in 14th. They've already lost 2 games against Barcelona and Sevilla, so looking very good for us. As well, in Champions League we have been drawn against Celtic, Bologna, Wolfsburg, Liverpool, Nice, Trabzonspor, Barcelona, Arsenal and Bayern, so should be very doable. We should be able to make it very far, but of course this season the first thing we're going to try is to win that La Liga title. And before I show you the squad that we currently have, let me show you what kind of transfers we've made. So for the transfers in, I've gotten some old players in, which you can see here. Some backups, I signed them all on a free transfer, so they're not gonna be playing a lot, but they're just going to be playing whenever my youngsters can't play. I've also bought in this insane wonder kid for 1.4 million, driven personality, insane technicals already. He is going to be really great for us. Currently at loan at Brest, but when he is back from his loan, he's going to be a first player for the future, definitely. Then also some players left. As you could see, we have sold Bart Verbrugge, our starting goalkeeper, for 69 million to Manchester City, and also sold Estanis Pedrola, who we brought in for 12 million and then sold on for 40 million to Las Palmas. Very happy with that sale. Didn't need the guy because we had all these insane wonder kits, and the rest are just loans and other transfers out. Then in this season I only brought in 2 players because I'm very happy with the squad. I've bought in a backup goalkeeper in Andrea Zanetti, very young person, ambitious, very good potential, so hoping he will be one for the future. And then the biggest record signing in the history of Girona FC, Anthony Molloy. This guy, we've bought him in for 94 million from Everton. He's only 1 full season in the top flight, but look how insanely good this guy is. Insane mentals, insane physicals, insane technicals. There's nothing wrong with this guy. Only has 17s or 18s whenever in each stats that you need him. So definitely going to be one to watch for the future. Very happy with Anthony Molloy that he's come in, and he is going to be worth every penny that we spend on him. He has a reduced class of 261 million, so he's not going anywhere, let me tell you that. Then for the transfers out, you will see a lot of loans here, and look at all these fees that we're getting for these players. I think in total we get about 20 million in loan fees, and they're all paying their wages, so it's looking very good. The reason why I loaned all these players out is because they need playing time, and they weren't gonna get the playing time from my team, so I will just show you some of them. They weren't gonna get them playing time they needed to develop, so loaning out was the best thing to do. Even one of them went to Real Madrid. Daniel Sebotari went to Real Madrid and already played 2 games for them, so not too bad. Then also some sales. Adriano Uyabula, we sold him, or we bought him for 9.5 million, didn't really work out. Did get a lot of loan fees for him, so I think we broke even on him. Anyway, he's left to Real Español. I really just wanted that guy out. And then otherwise there's a lot more loans, and just more loans. So I think in total we're earning, I said 20 million, maybe somewhere around 30 million that we're earning in loan fees, which is very nice. And the most important thing is that all those players get playing time, so once they come back to our club, they're going to be even better. With what team am I expecting to win La Liga? Well, let me show you. In goal, we have Ronaldos, a Mexican goalkeeper who's already looking insane. Then as a wingback, Marius Bayens, a very good wingback. Marvin Muatu, also as a wingback, and look at those physicals. And then in the center of defense, Sam Schmidt and Karidan Daljic, also very good players. Then in the midfield, Dorian Andre and Ole Favre. Just pause the video whenever you want to see how good the wonder kid is. Then Anthony Malloy, our new wonder kid in the inside forward role. Ivanov, our Ukrainian wonder kid in the advanced midfield position. Slimani on the other side of the inside forward. And Fabricio Lopez, of course, the guy who has already been here for I think 4 seasons now, 5 seasons, doing very good for himself. He's going to have his best season yet, I do think so. And other than that, we still have a lot of good players. Look at this Ali Kadim Swedish guy. Physically, mentally and technically very good. Also with some old rods in here, as Moss Weaver is now 30 years old but still very good. Also Leandro Milito still in here. Guy has been with us I think for also 4 or 5 seasons already. Yeah, he has. So looking very good as well. Then of course we have someone like Clemence Ridals as well. Benali right here, who can play a lot of different positions, so he's probably gonna get a lot of playing time. And of course, last but not least, Daniel Ion, our backup right back. So I'm very, very confident that this team full of wonder kids could really challenge for the La Liga title. And if not this season, then next season or the season after. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. So what I'll be doing now is I'll be simming through to the January transfer window. We will see how Girona is doing in their 8th season with me as a director of football. And we will see if we actually did well in the Champions League and how we're standing on the halfway point in January. Let's go, and I will see you in a blip. Hey, while we're here and before I sim through, please leave a like. It really helps me out a ton. And subscribe if you want to see more. That's all, nothing more. Let's jump into January. Alright guys, here we are. The January transfer window has just ended, and let me show you how we did. So I wanted to skip to the end of the January transfer window just to make sure that I could show you how we did. And actually in January we did pretty well. Before that we didn't do so good in the league. As you can see, a lot of draws here, but overall pretty happy with how we did in the league and in the Champions League, because as you can see in the league we're third, 2 points behind on Real Madrid, and Barcelona are just doing insane. They're winning all their games, so getting the title this season might be very hard, but beating Real Madrid to it might be very possible. Also, since we have won the Spanish Super Cup after beating Barcelona in the semi-finals and then beating Real Madrid in the final, which means the first piece of silverware is already in. Also in the Champions League, we have placed in 11th, 5 wins, 3 losses, 15 points, so we need to play an extra round, but that is all fine. And next thing I'm going to take a look at is what kind of transfers we made. We did sell a big player, so stay tuned for that. So as you guys can see, a lot of sales right here, and you can see 2 pretty big ones. The first one is Rashid Slimani. We sold him to Liverpool for 194 million after buying him for 45 from Inter. Didn't really play that good for us. I didn't even think it was that good of a player, but Liverpool really wanted him and they bought him for 194 euros. I mean, that's all fine with me. And then also Kadiran Dalgic, the Turkish central defender. We've sold him on to Arsenal for 50 million after buying him for 13 from
Galatasaray. This guy looked pretty good, however he didn't really look to develop anymore, and I already brought someone in who was going to develop. So welcome Florian Gross. This guy is insane, already better than the Turkish guy that we had. Mentally still needs to improve, but this guy has a lot of potential still, and he is already better than our Turkish friend. 16 tackling, 17 heading, with 40 marking makes him an insane defender, so hopefully he can do a lot for us, which is good. Then I also bought in one more youngster, Enrique Sabanas. 50 million I paid for this guy, and I think that's worth it. 20 determination, perfectionist, that's the reason why I brought him in. Also already 16 technique, 2-star current potential, and 4 stars minimum potential ability. So very happy that we signed him. Other than that, all of these signings are just some youngsters that we have sold. Some very not so very promising youngsters. We've also loaned out 2, I think 3 more players who didn't really get a lot of playing time. This Sabanas we have loaned out because he needed some playing time, and then also Evalingsta we loaned him out because he didn't only play 1 game for us, so he really needs to get some playing time, and then next season we can hopefully use him. And then also we have sold on 2 of our youngsters, 1 of our more rotational players, and also Daniel Sebatori. So 1 million in the budget. This guy is going to be going insane in the league, let me tell you that. So first things first, what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be swimming through to the youth intake, and as you can see it's a below average intake, so don't really expect much of it. And after the youth intake I'll be swimming through to the end of the season once again to see how we did in our 9th season as Girona's boss. So stay tuned for that, and I'll be back with the youth intake. A quick stop at the youth intake before we go to the end of the season and see how we did in this season. Anyway, the one and only good player is Delphi Gesti, another goalkeeper. We don't really need him, but 16 determination, very determined, 4.5 star potential possibly. We're just gonna see how he did. Other than that, not very any good players. This guy has good mentals, but he's not going to make it. He's just not good enough. Other than that, I think one of these guys had good mentals. Yeah, this guy already has like good stats, but if you look at this potential, he's not going to be good enough. Anyway, that's the youth intake. Next clip you'll see, we will be at the end of the season, and you'll see how Girona did in their 8th season. The end of the season is here. Without any further ado, let's go to the new arrivals. As you can see, the 2 most important new arrivals. Florian Gross, 20 appearances, 4 goals, 1 assist, 6.98, very nice for that guy. Anthony Malloy, 94 million spent on this guy, making 32 appearances as a starter and 16 as a substitute, 18 goals, 5 assists, a 7. He's not quite there yet, but he's going to be once he gets more playing time. This season, we finished 1 place better again than last season. 2nd place for Girona, which means that we're now one of the best 3 clubs in Spain. As you can see, the rest of the clubs don't really matter. It's just us, baby. Barcelona, Girona, and Real Madrid. For the Champions League, got knocked out against Inter Milan. Couldn't really help it. They were better than us. Spanish Cup also knocked out by Barcelona. They won everything this year, except for the Spanish Super Cup, which we won. Moments to remember, just 2 very big wins, and then the finances. Got a little less competition prize money because, I don't know, maybe some didn't get allocated yet. Broadcasting revenue kind of stayed the same. More sponsors in, more corporate and more match day, and also almost earning 5 million in player sales or in total merchandise, which is very good. Then how we lined up: Malloy, Ivanov, Kadim, Wiefer. Played actually? Did he play that much? Ah, he did. So we're going to see if we can actually sell him on, because I don't want those guys to play the games. I want my young wonder kids to play the games. So other than that, nothing really happened. We did gain a lot of players in our starting best 11. Arnau Martinez is still in here after moving to Everton and then to Stuttgart. He's still in our best 11. So is Valentin Barco. He's also left already a couple seasons ago. Yeah, he's still in there. so you can see how good those guys actually were. Jesus Hernandez also still in here. Very interesting. Sold him for 54 mil again to Lens. That was insane. Other than that supporters profile, we do have a very small stadium. I'm gonna see if we can actually build that a little bit bigger, because that would really help with the income and with making us a bigger team like that. What I'm going to be doing this season, because I think next season is going to be the last, is I'm going to make sure that all of these guys are going to really move on, because I don't really want all of the bad older guys to play, and I just want all my young wonder kids to play all the games that's possible. Anyway, I will be ending it here. Next season we'll be going into the last season as Girona's boss, but that episode will be something special, because I'm going to try to put 3 full seasons of Girona into that episode, and I'm just going to be showing you how we did in the first season, what kind of transfers we made, and then again how we did. So last episode is going to come out next week. I'm going to fit in 3 seasons, and we're going to see if it's possible to get Girona into the Champions League and make them win the La Liga title as a director of football in, let's say, about 10 years. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you did, and subscribe down below for more, and I hope to see you in the next and last episodes of this series, where we bring Girona to the top as their director of football. Take care. Hey guys, in this last episode we'll be taking a look if we can actually win the Champions League and La Liga with Girona. We make some more insane signings, and I show you all the wonder kits that we've bought in the whole series. So go ahead, take a look, and I will see you in a blip. This is how we start the first season. We're currently in 4th after having played 4 games, and Barcelona are on a tear again. They have won 4 and with insane scores as well, 6-2, 7-0. We're also not doing too bad with 4 games, 10 points. So if we just win 1, we're above Sevilla, Real, Betis, so that's nice. And let's see who we got drawn in the UEFA Champions League. Bayern, Man United, Club Brugge, Apoel, Nice, Bayern, Barcelona, sorry, once again it's for the Super Cup, TND, which I think are a Portuguese side, and Austria Klagenfurt, which I've never heard of before, but apparently they must have won the Austrian Premier League. They did. At the first time ever, actually, as I see it right here, so that's very impressive of them, beating Sturm Graz and Salzburg there. Then, like I said last episode, I was going to sell some Deadwood, and I did. I sold a lot of players which didn't really get any playing time or were too old to really play in our team. So for example, Yassin Ayari I sold to Can, and I think I made a profit on all of these guys. Felipe Ortega we let go on a free. Mats Wiever is off to Valencia, and once he is back we will get some money for him. As you can see here, 30 million, so that's nice. Then we also have Salah Oulat Mahant, which we sold to Fiorentina for 8 mil. Then another few players who we loaned out. And for that also, you saw last season we brought in Malloy. And other than that, we brought in Gabriel, which is a very good winger from Sevilla. Brought this guy in. Looking very nice, looking to see what he can do in our team. He's going to have an instant impact. And then also, we did sell some players. We sold Milito to Man City. We sold Massa Koulibaly to Lens. We sold a youngster to West Ham. Wasn't really going to get any play time. Not a bad player, but as a rotational player, I didn't want to keep him around if I could get 20 million for him. Then another older player, Samuel Multaretti, also left to Real San Hispanis. Then we also loaned in and brought in some players. I will show you, we already loaned out a couple of our youngsters once again, which is very nice. And then we did bring in some wonder kids, but one guy that we did bring in, which cost us a lot of money, was Sulay Temi Tope from Bayern. Very good mentally, technically not so good, but just a mental monster which we needed in our team. So very happy to have him in. He costs a little bit of money, but that's alright to me. And then of course 5 wonder kids Jonathan is going to make an instant impact, but okay, he just turned 22, but I still see him as a wonder kid. He could still improve a lot, so that's nice. Then we also have David Alonso, a wonder kid who we brought in and probably is going to be very good for us. Alphonse Giorgetti, which we brought in and loaned out immediately. Professional personality, 13 determination, 60 finishing, 16 technique, and great potential. Then Cisa, also balanced personality, very good potential ability. That's what our scouts tell us. And then Junior, on 20 determination driven. This guy, although his potential ability shows on the low side, I think he's going to be better than that because with his determination and driven personality. 1.2 million is an instant profit for us. Anyway, those were the signings we made in the first season. Something that's a bit different in this episode is that I'm going to be simming forward to the end of this season. I am not going to be simming anymore to the January transfer window or the youth intake. I'm going to be simming to the end of the season. You'll see how we did in our 9th season as Girona's director of football, and then I'll also be showing you the next 2 seasons. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you in a blip. And this is what it looked for us in the league. We got in 2nd place, which is very nice. We're considered best of the rest, but Barcelona just had another insane season. 93 points isn't that bad, so I think we could really start contesting for that title now. We just need a little bit more upgrades in our team, and we're gonna make sure that this transfer window we're getting into it. We don't really have anyone as a top scorer, but as you can see in the average rating, Marvin Watteau, our left back, is really insane. And look how good this guy is. Physically and mentally insane. Technically okay, good enough for a wing back. Also, player of the match, you see Marvin getting in there a lot. Then let's also check out the Champions League, because in the Champions League we unfortunately got knocked out by Chelsea in the round of 16. So we didn't play in the knockout rounds. Then we played against Inter, who we beat 2-3 on aggregate. Then in the quarterfinals we beat Borussia Dortmund 3-2 on aggregate, and in the semi-finals we lost to Chelsea, and we lost because of a very bizarre score. I just saw we lost 2-6 away at them. And Vitinha here scored 4 goals. Like, how does this guy ever score 4 goals? He's a mental beast, sure, but technically he's not that good. Anyway, lost 2-6, which meant that we weren't through to the final, but already reaching the semi-final is pretty nice already. In the Spanish Cup we unfortunately got knocked out by Vigo, which is a shame, but you know, once again, nothing we can really do about because we're not playing it. Anyway, this is how the first season ended, so looking very well. I think next season we can really start challenging for that first place in La Liga and possibly reach the final of the Champions League. Anyway, I'm going to be simming forward to the end of the January transfer window. I will show you any transfers that we did, because in this area, like in the January transfer window, we didn't really make any transfers. As you can see, we did bring in 2 wonder kids once again, Filipovic and Matthijs Boyer. I spent a lot of money on this guy, 28 million, but the personality is ambitious, 17 determination, so I hope this guy has it all. 28 million is a lot to spend, but I figured we have it laying around. My scout was actually very much hyping this guy up with almost 4.5 stars potential, but that's shrunken down. And then as loans out, we didn't really get any loans out. So let me just sim through the end of the January or the normal transfer window. I will have a look if we sold some good players or we brought some other players in, and then I will be simming forward once again to the second season to see if in the second season with Girona we can actually win that La Liga title or possibly Champions League. You will see me in a bit. And welcome to the second season in this episode. This season we started off with a bang, winning 5 games out of our possible 5 games, giving us 15 points. And this is how we're looking in the Champions League. We have T&D, so once again the Portuguese side: AC Milan, Stuttgart, Utrecht, Inter, Paris, Barcelona. Skip Barcelona once again. We don't have them. Club Brugge and Bodo Glimt in the Champions League, so should be pretty good. Then in La Liga, we are not doing too bad. Our biggest rivals, Barcelona, already lost 2 games, so that's good to see that they've already dropped points. We are on the same points as Sevilla, but I don't think Sevilla can keep this up. Anyway, there's nothing interesting really happened. I still have some transfer budget left, but I did buy 2 players and not many players left the club. I think in total 3 players left the club. Pep Aspar, who was a youth product, sold him on for 12 million, so that's just free profit. Marvin Diem brought him in on a free, now sold him on for 25 million. And then also Daniel Ion, our Romanian right back, bought him in for 4.1, sold him for 40 million. He wasn't really playing a lot, so I just sold him on. Not really one of the best players, but he did okay for us, I suppose. And then I brought in a youngster, Thiago Moura, a center back, very good player, resolute, 15 determination, 22 million, and his potential ability is already insane. This guy could already be a starter for us, so very nice. And then, of course, paying the big bucks for Antony, the winger from Barcelona. This guy has it all. Technically insane, mentally well-rounded in the areas where you need him to be, and physically also filled in. 20 agility, which means he's as agile as Messi, which is actually insane. So those are the guys that we brought in. What I'll be doing now is I'll be simming once again to the end of the season. So not January, end of the season, and I'll be showing you how we did in this last episode of the Director of Football Challenge. And of course, before I sim through, I want you to ask if you could leave a like and subscribe down below if you want to see more. Liking the video really helps me out a ton, so please do. I love you all for it, and without any further ado, we're going to be simming straight to the end of this 2032-2033 season. The end of the second season is here, and as you can see, guys, Girona are La Liga champions quite handedly as well, 102 points, and as you can see, it was more than enough to claim the title. Barcelona had 102 as well last year, and the year before that 108. So you could say that 102 might not even have been enough, but it has been enough. 102 points. We don't have anyone in the top scoring chart, but as you can see, we do have a lot of players on 3rd, 6th, 9th. So doing very, very good there. Very happy with the team winning the La Liga. But of course, what might also be interesting to see is, did we win the Champions League? And before I show you the Champions League, let's first jump to the Super Cup, because for the 3rd year in a row, we've actually won it. Beating Sevilla in the final after beating Barcelona on 2-3 in the semis. We managed to win another Super Cup, which is nice, another prize in our cabinet, which means that we now have 2 prizes. And before we jump to the Champions League, did we also win the Spanish Cup? And the answer is yes. Again, beating Barcelona. I can't even think how many times we played Barcelona this season. We knocked out Atletico in the quarters, then in the semifinals we beat off Lugo, which aren't even... Oh, they were a 2nd division team, so if they made the final, that would have been great for them. So also winning the Spanish Cup, so that's 3 prizes. But then there's the Champions League. Did we also manage to do that? And yes, we did. We did manage to beat a very good team in the final. But look at this, we're playing Barcelona again, and then we played Red Bull Leipzig in the final, and we beat them 3-0 to win the first ever Champions League title with Girona. It took us 12 years as a director of football, and it might take even longer if you don't just put your own tactic in. So it's going to take a very long while, but look at how dominating we were in this match. We were just insane, and I'm just going to show you with what kind of players we did pull this off. So if we go ahead and take a look with what kind of players we pulled this off, Dorian Andre, and look how insane this guy is, bringing him in for I think 31 million. This guy has been insane for us, playing all the games and having a 7 overall. Florian Gross as well. Look how good all these players are. I will just walk through all of them. This is our goalkeeper, insane player. Our center back, insane player. Our advanced midfielder, and look at how good this guy is. 19 composure, 19 off the ball, 19 vision, 18 technique. This guy is absolutely a steal for 94 million. 18 goals, 13 assists. Look how insanely good this guy is. Then of course Suleiman Temitope. Very good mentals, very good physicals, not that good technicals, but he's alright. Then of course our striker Fabrizio Lopez, been with us since the 26-27 season, scoring 15 goals plus every season. He's just absolutely insane. Also Marius Bayens, Marvin Watu, who was one of the best players we have. Look at those insane physicals, 15s plus everywhere. Maxim Ivanov, 23-year-old Ukrainian, also been with us for a long time, bought him for 23 million and always been a starter. Insane scenes from that guy. Anthony as well, who we brought in from Barcelona, 25 years old, made 12 goals, 16 assists this season, so insane buy, and he's even getting better. I don't know if you can get any better, but insane to see. Then of course the players that we have on loan right here, you can see they're all improving a lot. And of course, when you loan people in, it's loan people out, they can start keep improving. And look how good this guy can be. 17 dribbling, 18 finishing, 17 first touch, 17 free kick taking. This guy is going to be insane if we were to play on. But we are going to be ending it right here. I will be walking you through the last players that we have right here. And then we will have done it all. We will have won the Champions League, won La Liga, won the Spanish Cup. We have won everything we could this year. And just a quick shout out to this player, to Marco Evangelinska. He never really played a lot for us. He played some games this season, but look how good this guy is as well. 17 dribbling, 17 first touch, 17 finishing, 16 long shots, 18 passing, 17 technique. Just insane player. Only lacks a bit of mental ability, but 16 decisions, 16 off the ball makes him perfect. So yeah, that's where we are going to be leaving it, guys. And as you can see, these are my total stats. I haven't actually managed a single game. I've spent almost half of the time on holiday, just holidaying forward. We have sold 131 players and we have bought 103, but as you can see, we've only lost 250 million on buying players, so that's absolutely insane. Great profits right there, so looking very good indeed. Then our highest fee spent, of course, on Antonio from FC Barcelona, but we have actually received more from selling Rashid Slimani. And if you look through all the other players in our squad, you would say that this guy isn't even the best player. So why Liverpool were willing to spend 195 million on him, I don't know, but they did, and I'm very happy they did. Anyway, that's where I'll be leaving it for this time. Thank you for watching this series of The Director of Football. If you've liked, please leave a like down below and let me know down in the comments if you would like to see another series, maybe possibly another club. I think if I do it again, I might just do 5 seasons in one episode, because now it goes a little bit slow and otherwise it might be a lot more interesting. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching, I hope you've enjoyed and I hope to see you in the next video.